apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
U.S. Senator Katie Britt says changes are coming to the SNAP program as part of ongoing reform efforts. Speaking in Orange Beach, Britt said too many people have taken advantage of the system, turning what she called a safety net into a hammock. As part of the reform, SNAP users will soon be required to reapply for benefits. Britt says reapplication dates will be released state by state, and those who rely on the program should watch for updates to avoid any disruption.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Kohl's Black Friday deals are here. Grab your coffee and put on your sneakers because it's go time. Through Saturday, save up to 50% on everything from toys to beauty faves, winter styles, and more. Plus, earn $15 Kohl's Cash for every $50 spent. Yep, that's extra Kohl's Cash. So run, don't walk. Just hold on tight to that coffee. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora. Offers end November 29th. See store or kohls.com for details.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome into the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Quick rundown of the headlines here. It wasn't just X. It wasn't just those who follow. Some call her a queen, others call her bat crap crazy. But the Jerusalem Post picked up Candace Owens' story about Emmanuel Macron having a hit squad out on her. Crazy story. I just want to read it from the Jerusalem Post. J.D. Vance has a message for these illegal orders, Democrat lawmakers, and it just broke this morning that the Department of War is considering recalling Democrat Senator Mark Kelly to active duty to be court-martialed for telling troops to refuse President Trump's orders. Scott Bessent writes an op-ed saying it's time to end the filibuster. Doge, they leashed it, and now they've put it into all sorts of different pieces. It's sad to see what Doge was promised to be back when Ramaswamy and Musk were going to run it. And now we see the succession drama over it. The GOP is still divided over an Obamacare fix. Nothing is set to replace these expiring subsidies. Crazy study. Women with just 1.36% dehydration experience substantial mood deterioration. So, fellas, if your lady's in a mood, she just might need some water. Trump and President Xi of China speak by phone to discuss trade, Taiwan, and Ukraine. In particular, China draws a red line over Taiwan. They've drawn it before, but I believe Xi said on the phone, this is the readout from the Chinese side, Taiwan returns to China. That's the post-war order. Trump, of course, threw out big start messages to Zelensky and Europe, as did Rubio, as they now signaling, quote-unquote, big progress in Ukraine peace talks. And it looks like it is slowly but surely coming together, even though there are a lot of folks who maybe don't like the terms of this deal, but we can get into the details. Justice Alito grants an emergency order restoring Texas's new congressional map. So maybe the whole gerrymandering war will actually turn back in the GOP's favor. And Vince from ShamWow is running for Congress. Remember that guy? Vince from ShamWow?
Yeah, I do.
Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. How you doing today?
Outstanding. I saw chemtrails coming in today. I just
Yeah?
wanted to let you know.
You
Did you
did?
see him too? Yeah.
Oh, I don't look up.
Well, so there's a saying in the military: you look down, you look out, then you look up. Meaning landmines, people in front of you, and air. You might
Right.
want to start doing that.
Well, you might not be able to do much with the air.
You can just kiss your butt goodbye. Here it comes.
Yeah, I hear one of those drones or a fighter jet, and it ain't on my side. Good luck fighting that.
Yeah, I remember that guy though. Yeah, the guy,
Mhm.
Vince. Yeah.
Yeah, Vince from ShamWow
What-
is running for Congress.
Where at?
I haven't even looked at the details of
Okay.
the story. I'd imagine Texas.
I'd say Texas. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I think he's in Texas. Texas, running as a Republican because I saw him on Kill Tony the other night.
Right.
And so there's also a lot of local stories from Auburn University. Professor blames 1819 News for campus-wide anti-DEI and divisive concepts efforts.
Wow.
And there's a lot there from April Marie Fogel's reporting. Great job, April Marie.
Yeah.
That is really not letting Auburn off the leash. It's my alma mater, and I don't mind it at all because I remember, just out of curiosity, taking some of those feminist gender and politics classes, and it wasn't that crazy when I was at that point. They were already saying the nuclear family is not artificial and not a good, but they weren't, and they were introducing the trans stuff, but it wasn't quite as crazy as it's gotten, and especially based off April Marie's reporting. We'll have to get to that. U.S. Senate candidate Morgan Murphy will be joining us in studio at 2 p.m. Central Time. Look forward to seeing Morgan again, and he just had a great appearance on Timcast.
He was on Timcast. He was on Fox Business the other day. Yeah, he's been busy, been very busy.
But, you know, I always begin Mondays in a certain way.
I know. I'm surprised that you didn't just break right into it.
Yeah, I wanted to set the table first because this essay that I'm about to read is called Sunday Morning, I Forgot My Prayer. Now, for those who like funk and soul music, you might know the lyrics. Sunday morning, I forgot my prayer. I should have been happy I'd still be there. Something could have come and taken me away, but the main man felt still should be here another day. That's why I got to be thankful. I got to be thoughtful. Of course, that's Sly and the Family Stone. As I ponder this season of Thanksgiving this Sunday morning, I can't help but think that part of gratitude is remembering things forgotten. Things big and small, taken for granted, only to be lost in the troubles of the day-to-day. Yet, how could I alone remember what I have forgotten? How could I alone find gratitude in things I have for too long taken for granted? How could I alone ever be thankful and thoughtful when I have been so ungracious and unthinking for so many years? Yet, as I sit still in the cave of my heart and begin to listen to the whispers, I do begin to remember many things, big and small, though I still do not know how. At first, I recall my gratitude for my day-to-day, for those things in which I seemingly played a part, my skills, my job, my accomplishments, my right beliefs, correct opinions and choices and good deeds. Yet when I catch a whiff of this self-gratitude, it sniffs unmistakably of pride, so I listen some more until the stench subsides with the wind and gives way to silence again. And in that renewed silence, my heart almost caves in, as my mind recalls the clamor and clash of all the pitfalls and follies that could have taken me away, all the fires and earthquakes burning and cracking in my flesh, yet somehow I remain for another day. Then the wind mysteriously kicks back up with whispers again, as I start to remember, though I still do not know how, things forgotten in which I played no part. Gifts given to me when I was neither worthy nor deserving. Remembering these gifts, I find myself thankful for family, thankful for friends, thankful and thoughtful for all the people who have supported me in my lost years with kind words and loving works. But I am especially thankful for all the prayers on my behalf that I never got to hear, yet somehow now remember. Remembering these gifts, I can't help but feel guilty that I was not more worthy, willing, and able to receive the blessings so many have showered upon me. Remembering these gifts, I've become all the more grateful, yet ashamed, that I am allowed to remember these blessings at all. Where before I was unwilling and unable to fully appreciate others' grace, today I find myself willing, yet still unable, to receive their loving embrace, at least by my own steam. I still do not know how I'm remembering these forgotten things. I swear, it's not me. It's not me at all. The whispers just come, not of my own means, but by a power I cannot see. So as I still sit, in the cave of my heart and listen for more whispers, I hear a strong wind, then earthquake, then fire tear down and break to pieces my highest horizons. When suddenly I remember with a gratitude not of this world the greatest gift ever given to me. A still, small voice. Sometimes the voice sounds like my father. Sometimes the voice sounds like my mother. Sometimes the voice sounds like my grandfather, and sometimes like my younger brother. Sometimes the voice sounds like a friend, a colleague, a mentor, or a muse. Sometimes the voice sounds like a funky soul song full of gratitude. But more often, it's a voice that I can't quite place. A voice that comes to me in times of trouble. A voice that frees me to remember all I've forgotten. A voice that grants me gratitude for all I've taken for granted. A voice that fills me with grace and allows me to stand able when I am willing to do His will. It is an ineffable voice, and yet it has a name. Only through Christ Jesus could I ever be truly thankful and thoughtful for all the gifts given to a wretch like me. Glory be to the Father, to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. And may you all have a happy Thanksgiving. It'll be a short week, but hopefully it'll be one full of gratitude. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
In every holiday movie, the house looks perfect. But in real life, you're wrapping presents on the floor, covered in tape, eating cookie crumbs off the carpet, and praying no one notices that mystery stain. Make your home look like the Hallmark version of life with Prattville Carpet's holiday sale. Tile luxury vinyl planking carpet starting at just $1.39 a square foot. You can't even put a roof on a gingerbread house for that.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Call us today for your free measurement. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Holiday magic starts from the floor up. Shop PrattvilleCarpet.com.
This season, Guardian Credit Union is here to make your holidays merry, bright, and financially right. Whether you're shopping for the perfect gift or planning a cozy getaway, we've got you covered. With holiday loans, checking solutions, and fraud protection tools, you can spend with confidence. And Guardian's mobile app makes it easy to keep track of your holiday budget. Stop by one of our branches and let us be your holiday helper. From all of us at Guardian, happy holidays. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Attention River Region business owners. Local counties are now inspecting and enforcing backflow prevention requirements. Headley Plumbing is fully certified to install, repair, and test backflow preventers, helping you stay compliant and avoid costly violations. We've been serving the River Region for decades with dependable professional service you can trust. No membership, no contract, just fair, reliable service. Call Headley Plumbing at 285-3667 or visit headleyplumbing.com. In our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution.
Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, Troy, let's get into this headline from the Jerusalem Post.
Let's do.
Candace Owens. Boy. Some call her mom, queen. Others be like,
nuts.
Woo! What's wrong with her? She's gone bananas.
Something wrong with her medulla oblongata.
But Candace Owens claims Macron sent French Israeli-linked hit squad to assassinate her. Israeli involvement is at the center of a new allegation by American commentator Candace Owens, who claimed in a Saturday post on X that the French president Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte Macron, that's a man, man.
Is that a partner or is that a wife?
Ordered and funded an assassination plot against her is the claim. Man. That it was Macron and his wife. In a lengthy message labeled urgent, Owens wrote that 2 days ago, she was contacted by what she describes as a high-ranking employee of the French government, who allegedly warned her that the Macrons had executed upon and paid for her assassination. Yeah. All right. Owens said the source claimed the, quote, green light was given to a small team and the National Gendarmerie or
Gendarme.
Gendarme.
It's called Gendarme. Yeah, it's
intervention.
It's their National Guard. It's equivalent of their domestic military force. So,
and that, quote, one Israeli operative was part of the alleged squad, and that plans were, quote unquote, formalized. She added that the individual provided, quote, concrete proof that they were well placed within the French government apparatus, but she did not publish any documents or other verifiable material alongside the post. As of now, none of her claims have been independently corroborated by law enforcement or reputable investigative outlets. Though, are we really still hanging our head on reputable investigative outlets? Because they often, for instance, just to jump in and complete turn, Tucker Carlson came out with a thing that I find very believable today, that the Wall Street Journal is sitting on a massive story about, I believe, Termak, the second in command there in Ukraine, that he has been sloughing and taking off the top millions and millions of dollars of USA, which is not, I believe it, that's not a shocking allegation.
I think that's very common there. Yeah.
And that the Wall Street Journal is sitting on that story because they don't like Trump's peace plan, and Murdoch and team, let's just say, would like to see this continue. So reputable investigative outlets, I don't knock the Times or the Wall Street Journal stuff in terms of their talent and chops, but sometimes they also, the reputable part is debatable.
It is, and I would say that anytime I hear the name Candace Owens, I think it's the reputation. What's the reputation score on her?
But again, folks, I'm reading from the Jerusalem Post. Owens further tied the alleged plot to the killing of Turning Point founder Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated while, of course, speaking at Utah Valley University in September 10th of this year. She claimed that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement, echoing conspiracy theories she had been promoting for weeks around his death. She also warned that French journalist Xavier Poussard, or something like that, who worked on the material about Brigitte Macron that Owens promoted, was in danger as well. This is deadly serious, Owens wrote. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. Owens urged her followers to retweet and share and claimed she did not know who in the American government can be trusted, alleging that the unnamed French official told her U.S. leaders were aware of the supposed operation. As of the publication time, there's been no public response from the French, any Israeli officials, U.S. authorities at all to Owens' specific accusations. Roya News, which reported on the post, noted that the allegations remain unverified and stressed that no official body has confirmed any such plot. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, if there was it wasn't like Candace in the middle of this, but it was somebody who's like, I got wind that there's an assassination plot. Would any of the people admit to that?
Well,
the credibility of something like that?
No, and
of course
not. And I find it odd, though, the strange bedfellows. The gendarme is not the National Army of France. It's more like a civil. They're one step above police. They are military. You wouldn't use that organization as your hit squad. You just wouldn't. All right. And then Mossad involved with the gendarme. That makes no sense.
Is there a French Foreign Legion? You could have anybody.
The Legion of Strange. Yeah, that's the French Foreign Legion. Yeah. There's much better units that you would use. Them choosing the gendarme it makes no sense. It doesn't pass a common sense test.
Of course, Candace Owens' post on this has already triggered intense online reaction, ranging from alarm and sympathy among her supporters to ridicule and sharp criticism from detractors, many of whom point to Owens' long record of promoting conspiracy theories. She's now 36. Crap, she's my age. Is a high-profile far-right commentator and author who built her career at Turning Point USA and through a large social media following. Her latest claims come against the backdrop of an escalating legal war with the French presidential couple. In July of 2025, Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron filed a 22-count defamation lawsuit against Owens and her media entities in Delaware, accusing her of a campaign of quote-unquote demonstrably false claims, including the conspiracy theory that Brigitte Macron was secretly born a male and transitioned.
I'm sorry.
It is what a time, though, that like Candace Owens, who got fired from Turning Point didn't want her, Daily Wire didn't want her,
no, nobody.
And now she's bigger than ever. She really is. The amount of numbers is crazy.
She's feeding the monster right now by this story. That's what she does. So
yeah, and so I just wanted to cover it because I don't know. You on the face of it, you don't find this believable at all.
No, there's just too many. Okay. First of all, if there was going to be a hit, and if any Israeli unit was involved in it, it would probably be Mossad or GRB. You wouldn't know about it till Tuesday. You just they're tight. They're tight, and they pick the gendarme. It seems to me this is a pointed attack on the French government and the Macrons because she's already got the story about he's a man. You know what I'm saying? She's a man. So I think that's really there's too much there that doesn't add up. So
Yeah, but this is our day and age that we live in, where it's like we could try to shut all these people up, and yet it is playing.
People want to hear
time
conspiracy, man. They love that stuff.
And even folks who are allies and friendly with Candace are like, if this is true, it's wild, and it is. If it is true, it is absolutely wild. Right. And how would somebody even have the means of getting in touch with Candace in that way and sharing that? How did they prove they're
that's the other
part
thing.
Of the French apparatus?
Right, the source. I mean, okay, you get an anonymous phone call, right? I mean, and it's like, well, I don't know what the bona fides of this is, but
yeah. And so going back to the other thing I mentioned, it looks like there is big progress in the Ukraine peace talks.
Yes.
I'm looking at a Newsmax article here. Trump signaled today that, quote unquote, something good may be emerging from these peace talks underway in Geneva, Switzerland, while cautioning, don't believe it until you see it. Trump's comments on Truth Social just came hours after Secretary of State Rubio praised the tremendous progress negotiators had made on Sunday. And I believe I have that clip of Marco Rubio actually laying this out. He looks happy in the clip. I'll give you that.
I saw Dan Driscoll interviewed. He was talking with Zelensky, and it looked like they were having some very substantial conversation. So yeah.
So here is that clip of Rubio looking like he's beaming, like they actually have had a breakthrough. Yep. Let's listen in. Excuse me. Let's listen into this all together.
I think we made a tremendous amount of progress, even from the last time I spoke to you, and I apologize for keeping you waiting, but there was more work to be done. We began almost 3 weeks ago with a foundational document that we socialized and ran by both sides and with input from both sides. And one of the things that happens when you've been involved in this now for 10 months is you get a pretty good sense of what the priorities and the red lines and the important issues are for both sides. And so that allowed us to create a foundational document, which has been an ongoing working document. In fact, over the last 96 hours or more, there's been extensive engagement with the Ukrainian side, including our Secretary of the Army and others being on the ground in Kyiv, meeting with relevant stakeholders across the Ukrainian political spectrum in the legislative branch and the executive branch and the military and others to further sort of narrow these points. We arrived here today with one goal, and the goal was to take is 28 points or 26 points, depending on which version as it continued to evolve, and try to narrow the ones that were open items. And we have achieved that today in a very substantial way. Now, obviously, like any final agreement, they'll have to be agreed upon by the presidents. And there are a couple issues that we need to continue to work on. But I think the report today is that I think today was worthwhile. It was very, very, it is probably the most productive day we have had on this issue. Maybe in the entirety of our engagement, but certainly in a very long time. But work remains, and because this continues to be a working process, I don't want to declare victory or finality here. There's still some work to be done, but we are much further ahead today at this time than we were when we began this morning and where we were a week ago for certain.
The original 28-point proposal presented by the U.S. last week urged Ukraine to 1, surrender additional territory, 2, restrict its military capabilities, and 3, drop its bid to join NATO. These are all key Russian demands Ukraine has consistently rejected. Republican senators, I do declare, Mitch McConnell, and also some no-name Roger Wicker, criticized the proposal on Friday, with the former majority leader warning it represented yet another attempt by Russian President Vladimir Putin to play the president for a fool. If the administration officials are more concerned with appeasing Putin than securing real peace, then the president ought to find new advisors. Wicker went on to say this so-called peace plan has real problems, and I'm highly skeptical it will achieve peace. Ukraine should not be forced to give up its lands to one of the world's most flagrant war criminals in Vladimir Putin. Can we go back down memory lane for a second? All the way to 10 years ago. 10 years ago, a guy predicted, and this was like right after 2014 and the whole change, like saying this is a active policy by the West being led by the United States. This is just like, oh, what an organic uprising that kicks out the elected president. Oh, what? Nope. This was active policy by the U.S. and the West. And of course, I'm thinking of a man named John Mearsheimer. Here is that prediction from all those years ago.
What we're doing is encouraging the Ukrainians to play tough with the Russians. We're encouraging the Ukrainians to think that they will ultimately become part of the West, because we will ultimately defeat Putin and we will ultimately get our way. Time is on our side. And of course, the Ukrainians are playing along with this, and the Ukrainians are almost completely unwilling to compromise with the Russians and instead want to pursue a hardline policy. Well, as I said to you before, if they do that, the end result is that their country is going to be wrecked. And what we're doing is, in effect, encouraging that outcome. I think it would make much more sense for us to work to create a neutral Ukraine. It would be in our interest to bury this crisis as quickly as possible. It certainly would be in Russia's interest to do so. And most importantly, it would be in Ukraine's interest to put an end to the crisis.
10 years ago, he said that. And now we're however many dead, others wounded, millions have left the country. And I think that description of wrecked is correct.
I think it's very apt, yes.
Correct prediction there. So we'll see what happens. Trump and them seem to be trying to have like Thanksgiving as a deadline for the Ukrainians. But they're pushing, because I believe what the Trump administration would like, we can get into this in more detail after the break, is Did you see all this movement of carrier groups and just more naval vessels into our hemisphere?
20% of the combat deployed Navy is, they're down there.
And so folks are like, oh, he's going to invade Venezuela or stuff. And they're like, nah, we don't need to invade to knock out Maduro.
We don't.
This is all about, they're claiming, and there's some sense to this, pushing Russia and China out of our hemisphere.
Absolutely. And not only them, Iran. Iran has a huge presence of the IRGC and mosque and all through Peru, through Chile, everywhere. So,
and then, of course, this all ties into, and again, we'll have to get into more details, this interesting fight. You know, this drawdown in the price of Bitcoin recently?
Yeah, we talked about that.
There are a lot of Bitcoin-friendly folks, maxis and whatnot, saying, oh, this is clearly a, say, war between the old guard fat cats on Wall Street, the traditional banks.
Sure.
And this new up-and-coming digital system that the White House actually very much likes.
Agreed.
But there's this weird tension where, if lowering price ain't bad, it allows the U.S. government to quietly accumulate more, and these big banks who see the writing on the wall to accumulate more. But there is an interesting squeeze. In particular, people are pointing fingers at J.P. Morgan Chase. And it's not just like folks in the Bitcoin space saying this. Senator Ron Wyden just came out with a report that J.P. Morgan Chase was Jeffrey Epstein's banker.
Yes, it was.
But it is an old fight. How does it tie into foreign policy? If Trump gets a huge deal out of Ukraine and then gets some post-war settlement, as the Chinese call it, but we'll call it whatever. What happened after wars? What often happened you got things like the Bretton Woods Agreement. You got new global monetary orders. And so if he can pull together what is called the Mar-a-Lago Accords, or whatever they want to call it, they would introduce a new monetary order that would be backed still by the dollar, but with the digital space, Bitcoin and all these other stable coins and cryptocurrencies. And right now, a lot of the traditional banks that are the direct intermediaries between the Fed and all this money that's created, and they sit in a prominent position. Think of all the people who have been debanking and bullying around that get in their way, including the Trump family themselves. Anybody touching Bitcoin has been debanked by these folks. So it's a fascinating world where you are seeing a world historic realignment. The question is, do we stick the landing? And then after all this, I don't think the average American cares.
Well,
they care about affordability. Yes. And how is my life doing?
Consumer price index is what governs their day-to-day activities. And the thing about it is, you go back for a second about the Bretton Woods and all that. Whenever you have an administration such as the Trump administration, which learned from their first term failures, and now Project 2025, there was a strategic vision. There was a tactical plan to execute that new Pax Americana that I've talked about before. And it's coming full circle, because not only if he solves the Ukraine-Russia issue, there's rare earth minerals in Ukraine that are at stake. He's already got a stake in that with the mining of it. So my point is, he and his administration have a vision. The Maduro reestablishing the Western Hemisphere and keeping it safe. There's still a lot of mineral resources down there that we need to exploit. So there's a lot at stake here. And you cannot ever talk politics without talking money and military force. It's always the same together. So
this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. They're ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. If you're not already on their monthly subscription plan, I think you're making a mistake. I'll just be honest about it. It's a great way to get affordable, but you can actually budget for your pest control costs. All starts with basic pest control protection. Then you can add unique services on top of that. And again, this is going to be a lot less than all those streaming platforms I know y'all pay for, and you don't even watch all that much.
True.
But you can add termite protection, year-round termite inspection and protection. You could add, when the time is right, the season is upon us, mosquito protection. And now, of course, as we head into the cooler months, though it hadn't been that cold the last few days, wildlife control service. So if you're worried about squirrels, mice, rats, snakes, birds, whatever, getting inside your attic, getting inside your walls, and just in your house in general, well, contact Pest Pro Services, and they can get you set up with that wildlife control service. It's as simple as calling them direct at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always learn more at ppsriverregion.com, or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell them that Joey and Troy, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Need some extra cash? Gold and silver are at an all-time high. Turn your old coins, currency, or gold and silver into money at Trademark Coins and Currency, the only coin shop in the River region with over 40 years of experience. Veteran owned and operated, and proudly serving Montgomery from their location off Vaughn Road. Trademark Coins and Currency is always buying, and free appraisals means there's no pressure, just real value. Make an appointment today. Learn more at trademarkcoinsandcurrency.com. Trademark Coins and Currency. Experience you can count on.
Big news! Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital has a new name. But don't worry, everything you love is still the same. Now they're Pike Road Animal Hospital, still at 5148 Troy Highway. Still the same great team you've trusted for years. Same friendly faces, same expert care. Just a new name, and still offering boarding, grooming, and doggy daycare. Pike Road Animal Hospital, formerly Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital. New name, same heart. Compassion you know, care that you trust.
Hello, this is David Ernest with Ernest Financial. And just like Ernest Financial makes lots of money for our clients, Blue Water has helped us make lots of money for our company. You cannot go wrong with advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street kicked off the holiday shortened trading week with gains following last week's bumpy ride. This week, U.S. markets will be closed Thursday for the Thanksgiving holiday, which will be followed by the Black Friday and Cyber Monday retail rushes. Novo Nordisk shares tumbled 10% after the Danish drug maker reported its Alzheimer's drug failed to slow progression of the disease in a trial. On Friday, the S&P 500 gained 1%, the Dow climbed 1.1%. The Nasdaq Composite rose 0.9%. Nearly 90% of stocks in the S&P 500 advanced. It was a fitting finish for a week that left the S&P 500 just 4.2% below its record, but also forced investors to stomach the sharpest hour-to-hour swings since the sell-off in April. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Weather changes on the way, but not right away. Today's going to be a great travel day with mostly sunny skies, comfortably warm, high 78. Cloudy tonight. Can't rule out a shower in the overnight hours, low 59. Then for tomorrow, Tuesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Some of the storms strong, possibly severe. Then looking ahead, a big temperature plunge after that. Upper 30s by Thanksgiving morning, highs only in the 50s, low 30s on Thanksgiving night. Get ready for some weather changes from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Del Rey to Publix.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, we are just talking about this report here, right? This is Fox News this weekend.
Should President Trump order strikes against the Maduro regime, there's plenty of firepower in the Caribbean to do it, with about 30% of all deployed American warships, including the aircraft carrier Gerald R. Ford, now on station. There are over 200 Tomahawk cruise missiles in theater aboard destroyers and U.S. Marines aboard the USS Iwo Jima and other amphibs in the Ready Group. Now, ahead of Thanksgiving, the U.S. military's top officer, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Raisin Kane, arrived in Puerto Rico yesterday to meet the forces who were part of Operation Southern Spear. So with General Kane in the region, we'll have to see if Secretary Hegseth follows suit ahead of Thanksgiving. And one thing officials have said is some of this buildup in the Caribbean goes beyond the Maduro regime. It's about getting Russia, China, and Iran out of the Western Hemisphere, guys.
Makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And it makes a lot more sense. So why get that Middle East deal? Why get the deal in Eastern Europe with Ukraine and Russia?
Yep.
And then why go for the big one after that, which is with China? And that takes me to Xi's phone call with Trump.
Yeah.
On the call with Trump, said Taiwan's return to China is not negotiable. It's part of the post-World War II world order. Xi's message is China and the U.S. once fought fascism together, so maybe they should team up again to protect the outcomes of World War II. Meanwhile, Taiwan's government is reading this like, yeah, no, absolutely not. And Japan already signaling it could respond militarily if China attacks Taiwan, which Beijing is now calling a diplomatic crisis because Tokyo said the quiet part out loud. You have this new president over there. It's almost like a Japanese Margaret Thatcher.
She is definitely a conservative right wing, and she is not a pacifist like the previous one. She believes in expanding their power base. So, yeah.
She tried to sweeten the call by bragging that U.S.-China ties have, quote-unquote, stabilized since Trump eased tariffs and Beijing restarted soybean shopping. But this line about Taiwan is the real headline. Yep. This wasn't a request. It was Xi testing how far Trump will bend before the real Taiwan showdown begins. And there's a limited window there, I believe, for the Chinese, given their population declines and other things that might come up. They will only have a certain window if they actually want to do a full-on amphibious invasion, though they might try other means than a full-on invasion because that is not exactly easy to pull off, right?
Yeah, no, if they did anything, if you noticed in the listing of the ships, the first ship was the USS Iwo Jima. That is a amphibious attack craft, which has a regiment probably or two of Marines on board, and a lot of helicopters and small strike craft. They would probably go to the coastal cities, capture the ports, secure the ports as a beachhead, and not go inland and then just a trip by kinetic warfare from the air and stuff. So that would cause a revolution. And I have a feeling they would install that democratically elected government that won the last election, I think is what I'm hearing. So
yeah, and I've heard it said, I think it's first person to say this was Michael Anton, who's been working in the Trump administration. I don't know if he still is there as a foreign policy advisor. But Anton said in his discussion with his Chinese counterparts, other researchers, just geopolitical thinkers over there in China, if China was a liberal democracy, Taiwan would be a red line. It would be comparable.
Sure, it would be.
Like you just heard them talking about Puerto Rico. I made clear to ask my grandfather, he was in Puerto Rico during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Sure.
And so in many ways, you could say Taiwan is just like Cuba. And so we're replaying the Cold War. Neil Ferguson has brought this up. We're replaying the Cold War, but this time we're the Russians, and the Chinese are defending that island very close, the unsinkable aircraft carrier. So the question becomes, can you strengthen Taiwan enough to actually deter kinetic action? Could the Japanese flexing their muscles help in that regard as well? My worry is we can handle our own hemisphere with our Navy vessels now. The more I look into the Pacific, it's like people forget how big it is, how freaking big, how much you have to cover to be over there. And on top of stuff, maybe we have tricks up our sleeve I don't know about.
We do. Let's break down what you said. It was a lot that you put there. A couple of things. Number one, you have to remember tonnage. We still rule tonnage, but I don't care about tonnage. What I don't care about numerical quantity either. I care about quality of command and platform. What I mean is this: the Chinese have never had conflict that their guys have been tested.
Right.
For $1 million, you can buy a captain seat in the PLN, the People's Liberation Navy, and for $1 million US equivalent, you can become a 06 full-bird colonel in the PLA. Now, tell me, do you think there's any degree of meritocracy there? You got corrupt individuals. I mean, listen to me. If it happened and they tried an invasion, there would be so many dead floating Chinese Marines and Chinese soldiers in the water that you would have to move them out by nets and get them out of there before you could restore navigation through it. It's just 90 miles from the point to there. Do you know how long that would take you in some of the roughest seas and transport ships? Probably moving at 10 to 12 knots per hour. You would have hour upon hour upon hour in a shooting gallery to destroy them. I think the big problem is this. What about kinetic strikes, such as hypersonics? They can pound away, but they still don't control it. And the thing is this. I really believe this. China has really kind of poo-pooed where it eats. I mean, South Korea don't like them. Vietnam doesn't like them. The Philippines don't like them. Japan doesn't like them. That's a pretty formidable adversary group, let alone have the American Navy and Air Force fighting you.
And one interesting wrinkle here, that guy I played earlier, folks, at the 10-year prediction about Ukraine, John Mearsheimer. Mearsheimer has been a fierce critic of that war with Russia, and like it should have never started. And the guy's kind of got a point, I think, 100% on that. But Mearsheimer also wrote a book called On the Israeli Lobby, been a fierce critic of the war ongoing there. Thank God it's been put on pause. But then it might surprise you that Mearsheimer is not like a Jeffrey Sachs or a Judge Napolitano or like some libertarian anti-war guy. In fact, he would call himself, I believe, an offensive realist.
He is.
And he has said multiple times, Taiwan is a cornerstone, a crux, a turning point for geopolitics in that part of the world. Because as soon as the Chinese take Taiwan, they would be able to penetrate the periphery that's been created by the U.S. Navy and our allies. And that way they could become more of a blue water nation. And actually, they could control their own backyard first. And then that from controlling their own backyard, they could begin to project power. And in fact, would, in Mearsheimer's scheme, every nation pursues that sort of power and competence.
I think it's a natural ascendancy to try to get regional hegemony there. But I think that that's what we're fighting for. Otherwise, all this time, what was that? What was the fight against communism about then? You know, it really, no, seriously, it calls into question everything we've done in Indochina and beyond.
Trump just invited in a guy who was a bin Ladenite head chopper member of Al Qaeda and sprayed him with perfume and asked how many wives he got. What a weird world we're living.
It's a strange world.
Anyway, we got to hit another break here. Be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Clogged drain? Overflowing septic? Don't panic. Call the experts who've been solving plumbing problems in the river region for more than 50 years. The Tierce family's local Roto-Rooter team specializes in fast drain cleaning, septic repair, and installation. One call and your troubles are on their way down the drain. That's 272-7130 or visit rotorooteralabama.com. Roto-Rooter, always here when you need us.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. Now, one thing that really got a lot of folks worked up last week, and rightfully so, were all these Democrats that brought up, it's a tough time right now to be serving in the American Armed Forces and in the intelligence community. And so, you must refuse illegal orders. All y'all that are really having a tough time, search your conscience, search your soul, talk to your JAG officer, and, don't obey those illegal orders. as we covered last week, and you were setting Duke straight, this is nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
I have a op-ed that will be released this week that maybe I'll read a little later. It's very important to understand the argument that yes, we have rules of land warfare. We have legality and UCMJ training every year. It's drilled into your head. This is just a facade. It's nothing more than they hate Donald Trump and the Secretary of War, and they want to they want to go to war with him.
Now I'm about to play a clip from ABC This Week with Martha Raddatz, and it's Alyssa Slotkin, senator, who used to be a member of the agency.
Yeah, she was.
She was CIA.
She was intelligence.
And you would think somebody who was CIA would be a little better. I mean, in many
if you've
ways.
ever worked with them, you realize they're a bunch of they're like the Island of Misfit.
It's not
toys.
like James Bond.
It's like the Island of Misfit toys on the Christmas.
Well, listen to this. Martha Raddatz asked her straight up, "What's this all about?"
Right now, do you believe President Trump has issued any illegal orders?
To my knowledge, I am not aware of things that are illegal, but certainly there are some legal gymnastics that are going on with these Caribbean strikes and everything related to Venezuela.
Talk about gymnastics, woman.
She looks like she needs to take some gymnastic classes. Sorry.
Yeah. So J.D. Vance responded to this, the vice president of the United States, saying, if the president hasn't issued illegal orders, then members of Congress telling the military to defy the president is by definition illegal.
It's sedition.
Yes.
It is sedition.
And it is seditious. Now, I think it's not going to cross any of those legal lines because I think anybody sees this for what it is. It's a stupid political stunt.
It is.
But also, and I'm interested in hearing your op-ed, if it's germane to this topic.
Is exactly the topic I'm writing about.
Because this is the sort of politics you don't want to be used with military and intelligence institutions.
This is bad juju. This is very bad juju. So,
right. Like I've talked to people I know in my life, others that have served. Everybody knows about you can refuse an illegal order.
Sure you can.
Like my grandfather's telling me about a lesser one where a guy, a commander above him who was always wanted yes men and thus he was a dumbass.
Yes, he was a dumbass.
He wanted my grandfather to mess with the paperwork. Yes. Fraudulent, do fraudulent stuff. And he's like, well, if you won't do it, I'll just go to your guys. He's like, they're not going to do it either.
They're not going to do it either.
Right. So there's plenty of times, big and small, where you have an occasion to go, I'm not doing that, sir. And then you pay the consequences too in certain situations. But
I think in your case, what you're talking about, and this is important for the listeners to understand, where did this all come from? Came from World War II, the Nuremberg trials. This is where it all derived from, following legal orders, illegal orders. And so that's been etched in our mind ever since the post-Cold War. For them to use that, and a couple of them are military too, is very concerning because it causes doubt and it's seditious in its nature. So
now from Nick Sorter on X, it looks like Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly, who was part of that ad, might be brought back to active duty to be court-martialed for telling troops to refuse Trump's orders. Statement from the Department of War. Quote, Department of War has received serious allegations of misconduct against Captain Mark Kelly. In accordance with the Uniform Code of Military Justice 10 U.S.C. Section 688, and other applicable regulations, a thorough review of these allegations has been initiated to determine further actions, which may include recall to active duty for court-martial proceedings or administrative measures. Now, I said this might not come to the point of legal things like sedition, but I'd imagine this is in violation of a lot of regs that are unique to those who have joined the military.
Absolutely. And people go, well, how can they do that? He's not in the military anymore. There's your expiration never expires. You can be called back at the pleasure of the president. So,
well, how about this? I want to hit this break early, and then you ready to go with the op-ed on the other side of this break? Because I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this issue. Got a lot of people stirred up, especially those who served. And it's good to see the administration not taking this lightly.
Agreed.
And, again, I view it as like this is a stupid political stunt, and it crosses a line when you start using core tenets of the military, as you just laid out from Nuremberg, as political cudgels.
It's
not
a
cool.
very dangerous precedent, and it's symbolic of how far the left is willing to go to try to discredit this administration.
And we got enough conspiracy theories going on. Are they going to kill Candace Owens? I don't know.
And I saw chemtrails today too. Everybody, beware.
Right, but this is the sort of stuff that just sows even more of it. Like, hey, intelligence communities, don't listen to them. Well, we were already doing that on anyway.
CIA killed Kennedy.
Yeah, it's just like, stop it. Some of these institutionalists, it's like, y'all are very tough. You're going to make Candace Owens unhappy. Don't make Candace get on your ass.
Because she's a big influencer.
Anyway, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A federal judge has dismissed a criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey. That step taken today after a ruling that Lindsay Halligan, that's the interim U.S. attorney who secured the indictment, was unlawfully appointed. The judge, Cameron Curry, concluding Halligan's appointment violated federal law governing interim U.S. attorneys. Affordability is all the talk of the town here in Washington, and this year, with the turkey population at a 40-year low, wholesale turkey prices expected to be up a little more than 40% as a result. The good news is that because grocers are offering discounted deals on a variety of other foods, that families may break about even when they buy their meal this year. It's going to be an abbreviated trading week on Wall Street, but right now things are going pretty well for investors today with the Dow up more than 300 points. This is SRN News.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30 gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live and save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Schimbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Schimbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Weather changes on the way, but not right away. Today's going to be a great travel day with mostly sunny skies, comfortably warm, high 78. Cloudy tonight. Can't rule out a shower in the overnight hours, low 59. Then for tomorrow, Tuesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Some of the storms strong, possibly severe. Then looking ahead, a big temperature plunge after that. Upper 30s by Thanksgiving morning, highs only in the 50s, low 30s on Thanksgiving night. Get ready for some weather changes from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. NFL star running back Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt returned to his hometown Saturday to help make Thanksgiving a little brighter. The Montgomery native handed out more than 1,000 turkeys at the Sheridan Heights Community Center, drawing a large crowd of residents eager to meet the NFL player. The Southeastern Conference has confirmed this year's Iron Bowl is scheduled to kick off Saturday at 6:30 from Jordan-Hare Stadium. The rare primetime Iron Bowl will be televised on ABC. This will be the first night game between the two teams since 2014, which resulted in the highest scoring Iron Bowl of all time, a 55-44 tied victory. The Salvation Army of Montgomery has officially kicked off its Red Kettle campaign. This year's fundraising goal is $200,000. Donations help provide food, housing, and other assistance to those in need in the Montgomery area. Salvation Army volunteers will be at various locations throughout the river region ringing those familiar bells. Please donate what you can. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That fun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and let's hear this real quick again from...
What's this track? I like this funky track you just laid down.
It was called Big Funk.
Oops, now we have not just day 35 or song 35. It's Big Funk. I like it.
And then it breaks down in this way right here.
Joey, I like it.
Oh, if it'll actually work. No, I'm doing too many things at once. It's mad.
I thought that one, that one caught my attention. So.
Anyway, here is, let's hear this again from Senator Slotkin.
Yeah. Let's talk right now. Do you believe President Trump has issued any illegal orders?
To my knowledge, I am not aware of things that are illegal, but certainly there are some legal gymnastics that are going on with these Caribbean strikes.
Then why'd you say it, woman? And not just you, a lot of other people, men too.
Yeah.
It was just fun to go, woman! Anyway.
Shut up, silly woman.
Yeah, I think I've got that right here.
Shut up, silly woman.
But I'd imagine your op-ed's more than those words.
It would give her a great displeasure when I read it. But before we do that, a couple things. Yeah. I want to read Article 94 of the UCMJ 894 so you understand what's at stake here in terms of saying something's treasonous, mutinous, or seditious. Mm-hmm. And so it's very short. And then also, Sandy Watson, if you're out there listening, I know your son was the Bradley driver. Sandy, I'm sorry I missed you the other day. I know that Eddie told me that you stopped by, and I'd look forward to meeting you sometime soon. So thank you for your family service. So here's the Article 94 that's at stake. With intent to usurp or override lawful military authority, refuses in concert with any other person to obey orders or otherwise do his duty, or creates any violence, any disturbance, is guilty of mutiny. That's mutiny, okay? With intent to cause the overthrow or destruction of lawful civil authority, creates in concert with any other person a revolt, violence, disobedience, disturbance against the authority, is guilty of sedition. Number 3, fails to do his utmost to prevent and suppress a mutiny or seditious act being committed in his presence, or fails to take all responsible means and reasonable means to inform his superior commissioned officer or commanding officer of a mutiny or sedition, which he knows or has reason to believe is taking place, is guilty of a failure to suppress or report a mutiny and or sedition. So there's a lot of pieces in there, but clearly anything you do to undermine the war footing or the combat footing of our forces is seditious or mutinous. So that I just wanted to set the stage on that. All right, so here we go. The left's subversive whisper to our armed forces. Again, subversive whisper to our armed forces. These are the moments, and there are in history when the mask slips from time to time, when the true intent of the movement is not revealed in its slogans, but in its schemes. We're living in such a moment now. Democratic leftist legislators, sworn federal officials, bound by their oath to uphold and support our Constitution and its chain of command, have betrayed their office, Joey. And they have, and their conscience is also at stake. Supposed guardians of our republic, they have dared beguile our armed forces, suggesting they should refuse, quote, unlawful orders. At first blush, this may sound like a harmless reminder of principled military ethics, a passionate misspeak even. Peel the onion back, I tell you, and you'll see the rot. This is not a principled stand. It's a calculated act of subterfuge, mass sedition, a treasonous tease meant to sow disorder in the ranks of the American military. Be advised, this is smoke and mirrors, what you're hearing from them now. The military already operates under a strict code of law. It's called the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. It also uses the Constitution, and even the Geneva Convention provides centuries of precedent. These define what is lawful or unlawful and what is not or is. Soldiers are trained from day one to distinguish between legitimate orders and unlawful ones, and periodically retrain. They do not need lectures from politicians who have never borne the weight or command or the burden of combat. For legislators to insert themselves into this critical chain of command without grounded legal authority, it is not moral oversight. Rather, it is a dangerous interference. It's an attempt to fracture the cohesion of our fighting force. It is an assault on the Constitution and its vestiges. What happens, Joey, when a corporal hears that members of Congress are encouraging disobedience? What happens when a lieutenant wonders whether his orders will be second-guessed, not by his superiors or his subordinates, but by partisan agitators in Washington? The answer is clear: chaos, consternation, and ultimately collapse. To deliberately plant seeds of doubt in the minds of our warriors is not only seditious in spirit, but treasonous in temperance. Those responsible must be made examples of for their dalliances and a destruction of the good order and discipline. The left cloaks this maneuver in the language of resistance. They claim they are protecting democracy from tyranny, but in truth, they are weaponizing suggestion, using insinuation to undermine the very institution that guarantees our freedoms. This is not about safeguarding the Constitution. This is about sabotaging the commander-in-chief because his name is Donald J. Trump. Their hatred for him is so consuming, so blinding, that they would risk dismantling the chain of command itself, the proverbial backbone of our national defense, just to settle a personal vendetta. Consider the gravitas of this. Some of the voices making these suggestions are themselves former military officials and officers. Men and women who once wore the uniform now stand in the halls of Congress, whispering poison into the ears of the troops they once led. Grima Wormtongue, for those of you that know Tolkien. They know better. They know the peril of disorder in the ranks, yet they persist. Their betrayal is damning, and those usurpers should face investigation, and if the evidence warrants, prosecution for sedition and or treason. To betray the trust of their oath is to betray the nation and its citizens. Their punishment must be more severe. Death is the price of this sin. History teaches us that great powers do not fall from external assaults alone. Rome did not collapse because its enemies suddenly became too strong. It collapsed because its leaders were too corrupt, too divided, too willing to sacrifice unity for personal gain. America's enemies abroad, China, Russia, Iran, and other near peer actors are watching closely. They see legislators in Washington attempting to fracture our military from within. The corruption of capitalism, they think, and they see opportunity, and they will exploit it. Every whisper of sedition in Congress is a boon to Beijing, a memento to Moscow, and a theocratic tip to Tehran. The left's gambit is not merely misguided and mischievous, it is malicious in intent. It is the equivalent of shouting fire in a crowded theater, except the theater is the battlefield and the fire is hesitation in the face of enemy forces. To encourage disobedience without authority is to invite mutiny. To invite mutiny is to invite defeat. I have paid in blood, sweat, and tears in over 5 combat tours, and I'll be damned if I will accept this subterfuge. This is a perverse act of political sabotage, masquerading as moral guidance. We must demand accountability for those who would dare to undermine the chain of command. And we must remind our soldiers that their oath is not to Congress, not to the party, not to ideology, not to politics, but the Constitution and the republic it sustains. The left's hatred for Trump is so overarching that is metastasized into hatred for the very institutions that now protect us. Their obsession has driven them to reckless extremes where they would rather cripple the military than see him succeed. This is not principled opposition. It is a scorched earth policy. This must be confronted with the full force of law and the full voice of the people. America's warriors deserve clarity, not confusion. They deserve unity, not division. They deserve leaders who strengthen their resolves, not sabotage it. If legislators cannot rise to that standard, then they should be held accountable in the courts and the ballot box and the court of public opinion and in the annals of history.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Yeah, what a stupid thing for them to do.
It's very, very dangerous precedent. You know,
incredibly stupid.
Who do you think said that's a good idea? That's a good strategy. Let's do that.
Probably these people that
they just
put
came
it out
together and said,
thought, they won't ever call us back if we're retired, or they won't ever. Right,
be careful.
Like, and honestly, this is what I think the intelligence agencies do all the time.
I think
of the first Trump term.
Oh yeah,
like you get the same thing, exact same thing. How about like this isn't exactly a palate cleanser. In fact, it might make you want to spit if you like soup.
Oh no,
this is a local report about a vice president of Campbell's caught on a reporting. The guy's name is Martin Bally. And here, I'll just play the local report. This is
this is kind of gruesome, isn't it?
Yeah, to put it mildly. Let's listen in to this guy. Excuse me, pardon me. There's going to be strong language that's bleeped, but he can still kind of tell what he's saying.
A former Campbell Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. So healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza says he usually worked remotely for Campbell's headquarters based in Camden, New Jersey. But thinking he'd be discussing his salary with Bally, he says the recording taken in person at a restaurant.
They couldn't think for the like you dumb
Garza says he felt sick after the rant, deciding to go to his direct supervisor in January, keeping the recordings to himself.
Oh, but hold on. So this is all about a whistleblower feeling himself under distress, and this guy said awful things. It's like, yeah, but is the guy right that it's effing it's 3D printed chicken?
Bioengineered meat. So he was probably using a euphemism to support that allegation, but I just don't see where the crime's at here. I don't.
Yeah.
So you got an asshole for a CEO, CIO. Welcome to the world, bro.
Here, let's continue the story.
He had never had any disciplinary action.
They had never written him up for poor work performance.
Garza says no one at Campbell's ever followed up, and it's taken him 10 months to find a new job, calling the way the canned soup company handled it simply terrible.
They have a motto, like we treat you like family, here at Campbell's, come work for us, we treat our employees like family. That's not the case.
We did just receive a statement from Campbell's that says, quote, if accurate, the comments in the recording are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company. We are actively investigating this matter. We've also reached out directly to Martin Valley. Erica Erickson, Local 4.
As she eats chicken soup. Why is nobody taking what he said seriously?
Chicken poop. Here's the thing. I love what they said though. When they said, oh man, but I lost my train of thought. What was it? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Oh, I know what it was. When he said, never mind. Sorry.
You're talking about the whistleblower guy?
Yeah. Oh, the whistleblower guy. When he said something, and I thought, well, that's odd because I don't remember. I had a TBI moment. Sorry.
272-9228. It's all good, man. It happens to me too.
Sorry.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Poison Ivy up here at the mansion.
Oh, goodness.
I overheard cousin saying she was not going to really pardon the two turkeys, Phil and Buster. And she intends to have the Alabama National Guard firing squad let them have it and send their parts up there to Campbell's in New Jersey. Now, I am making my plea to the National Guard firing squad. You will be breaking Alabama law 14, 13, 11.2. I might have got that backwards. Cruel and unusual punishment. Please don't kill Phil and Buster when she has you do it. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Poison Ivy. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Before I forget, this part of the program brought to you by Austin Baranko and the great team there at Invista Advisors. And at Invista Advisors, of course, they can help you out if you've got, say, an investment portfolio you want managed. But the wealth management's only just one part of what they do. What they can do is create an entire financial plan for you wherever you are in life. Maybe you're young, just starting out, starting a family, want to get your affairs in order, on the right glide path as you go forward, starting that family. Could be you're more in your 50s, 60s, you're looking to retire, but all your money's tied up in a small business. It could be you're more concerned with end-of-life concerns. Of course, will and last will and testament, but also just how to manage your estate in general across the board. If you are looking for a great multidisciplinary team,
they are.
That CPAs, all sorts of licensed folks, and investment advisors, these folks are fantastic over there. You hear Austin all the time on these airwaves. It's that sort of insight that can help you out with there at Invista Advisors. So y'all check them out today. You can always go to InvistaAdvisors.com or just give them a call direct, 387-0094. That's 387-0094. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
I'm Jim Smith with Adams Drugs. At Adams Drugs, we offer a wide variety of services, including delivery, compounding, wellness clinics, and immunizations. Now is the time to visit any Adams Drugs location and get your flu shot. Getting an annual flu shot can help prevent you from getting the flu, reduce the severity of symptoms if you get the flu, and prevent serious complications such as hospitalization and death. Getting your flu shot at Adams Drugs protects you from getting sick, but it also makes sure that those around you, especially those at high risk, remain safe. Each year, up to 49 million people in the U.S. contract the flu. Depending on the flu virus's severity, deaths as a result of flu complications could skyrocket to 79,000 people nationwide. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for a location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The government shutdown has put a lot of people in a tight spot, having to pinch pennies. Pizza Perfect is going to do its part to help everyone save some money. In November, they're going to continue to charge only $10 for their all-you-can-eat buffet. Enjoy pizza, spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $10 in November. At that price, you can save some money to buy some Christmas gifts. Pizza Perfect, Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook. Available for pickup and delivery.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back to the program, folks. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. He likes that one funky song. I'll have to do the full one.
I'm going to get the full-on experience.
Yeah. I got to put an album together. I keep saying I'll do that. It's more just become a hobby when I feel like
You've got enough material. You could
probably
string something
assemble
together.
together. Yeah. Let's go to Crawdad on line one. Hey, Crawdad, how you doing?
Good afternoon, you guys.
Hello, sir.
Troy, good to speak with you. This question is primarily in your
wheelhouse, my wheelhouse, as they say.
Yes,
I was never in the Navy, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Yes, sir.
President Bush, was it not?
Yes, it was during the Bush administration. Yeah. But there was some part of it with Clinton too, as you remember, at the tail end. But yes.
Okay, so let me see, because a lot of this is real scattered in my memory,
Yes, sir.
but I've been trying to remember bits and pieces. Was it Shelikashvili?
Yes.
Okay, got that.
That was a tragic event. Yes.
Okay, this is where I'm going. Bits and pieces of memory here. Private First Class Michael New. I don't know if it's NEW, but I think it was. He's called in to serve over there, and he was told, if I'm getting this right, to put on uniform that will have a UN emblem on it. He says, I cannot do that because he personally felt that the UN symbol was a sign of a foreign flag and he would not do it. And they told him, you will. He said, I will not. And he went to Leavenworth, if I'm remembering correctly.
He did.
Okay, I did. Tell me more if I'm listening, please. Tell me more what you might know about this. I want to listen.
So what happened was he was made an example of. America has, they're very, it's kind of, how can I say this, nebulous, Crawdad, some of the regulation. There's a popular movement inside our military not to be involved in UN peacekeeping missions, particularly when things went south, sort of like on Black Hawk Down, if you remember, when we lost in Somalia, just the abject failure of some of the military missions that they have. But this young man was a U.S. infantryman. He did not believe in the UN. He was ordered as part of a small unit, I think it was a company of infantrymen, to augment this mission in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And he said he did not. His oath was to the United States, not to the United Nations. And he had a good argument. He had an attorney, but they made an example of him. He spent 3.5 years in prison, busting rock mostly at Leavenworth. If you've never been to Leavenworth, I can tell you, Joey, it is really, it's everything you would think a prison would be. It's old and it's just decrepit and it's just, So he was made an example of. There's a guy that I'm affiliated with. His name is Bull Gerfin. He was on the show with Major Capers. He has an organization, Crawdad, that protects and advocates for those guys that have been arrested, that have not done violent crimes, or maybe just peacefully disagree with like proselytization, for instance, being charged with that. He does a lot of representation. He knew that guy very well and said that it was very, very wrong how they did him. But I agree. I mean, I didn't sign up to protect the United Nations. So,
well, I appreciate the call, Crowd. I got another person want to get in here. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, it's Woody. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Woody?
I'm good. Hey, Troy. I'm glad you're on the show. I've been wanting to ask you. I listen all the time. But my father-in-law, he raised the flag on Iwo Jima on his birthday.
Man, that's something else.
He was about a mile away from the actual, the one in Washington.
Right.
But anyway, I got a lot of. He died in 2016. I got a lot of stuff from him, but I got 2 letters. The first one, his brother was in Saipan.
Yep.
And he was in Iwo Jima.
Man.
But anyway, the second, I'm going to read this real quick. I'm just curious what this is. It's kind of redundant. It's kind of stupid.
No, it's
anyway,
not. It's not stupid at all. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for taking. I'm going to tell you something. Thank you so much for preserving the memories of some of our warriors. That's really important. Really important.
I had it framed and matted. But anyway, the first letter is about Saipan. It says, "The Secretary of the Navy, Washington. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Presidential United States to the 4th Marine Division reinforced, consisting of, and then it goes into outstanding points in the combat during the seizure of Japanese-held islands of Saipan and Tinian in the Marines from June 15th to August 1st, 1940. But it goes through about all what happened. But then at the bottom it says, for the President, James Forrestal.
Wow.
And that's the Secretary of the Navy.
It was. Yes, it was.
And then I got 2 letters. That's just one. And then I've got one of 2, which is the Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
And it's the Secretary of the Navy. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the presidential citation of salt troops of the 5th Ambitious Corps Reinforced United States Fleet Marine Force for services set forth in the following. For extraordinary heroism in action during the seizure of enemy Japanese-held Iwo Jima Volcano Islands, February 19th to 28th, 1940. And it goes through the entire thing. But that's signed by John L. Sullivan, the Secretary of the Navy.
Right. They changed in the war. During the war, it was changed. They had a switch out. I remember on the Secretary of Navy. Yeah. Both of them were remarkable.
These are just something presented to the president. Is that correct?
No, what that is it's a presidential unit citation. What it means is the president recognizes that particular unit that's denoted in your letter as a PUC, a presidential unit citation unit. And if you look at a uniform, a dress uniform of a Marine or an Army or anybody in the service, if you on the right hand side of the breast, there will be a red block like with gold around it. That's a presidential unit citation unit. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's outstanding. Thank you for sharing those memories. That's important to preserve those. So great.
You're welcome. I was going to tell you one other thing. He was head of OSI. Is that correct?
OSS. That's the Office of Special Security, which was a forerunner to the CIA.
Oh no, that wasn't.
You're talking about OSI. That might have been the Office of Special Investigations. Yeah. That's different.
He was head of the 3 departments in Alabama.
Wow.
I think Mobile, Montgomery, and I want to say Birmingham.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a great guy, man.
Man, you know
he
what?
Died in 2016.
I'm sorry for your loss. What a great American. Keep his memory alive. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he was a great guy. Okay, I'm just curious. I've had him for a long time.
You know, that means that both of them serve. There's 2 units that they serve with were considered excellent above their peers. So yeah.
You know, his commanding officer let him get on a boat and shoot over to spend the night with his brother.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, he was head of his. He was a cool guy.
What stories they could tell, huh? I bet you have a lot of them.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy the show.
Appreciate it, Woody. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Gabby, the golf pro. How are you all doing today?
Doing all right. How are you?
Well, listen, I just wanted to call. It's the first time I've called your show, Joey, but you do a great job. I really enjoy it. But I was calling to to tell Troy, I don't know if you remember me from the cigar store.
I know who you are, Gabby. How was your how did you have your surgery?
I did. The double bypass went well. I'm totally recovered. Going back into the workforce.
Man,
and
good.
Excited about my future. So
Good,
I'm blessed.
good.
But,
God bless. God, we prayed on it. So.
I'm so excited that you're on there with Joey because I've been able to enjoy you. All of your trips whenever you would occasionally come by the cigar store and I happen to be there. I mean, I just was always amazed with you as a person and with all of your experience. But now it's like an onion that's getting peeled. Every layer is just incredible. I mean, so I think it's great you're on the show, and I definitely think the world of you, and look forward to seeing you around the place again.
Well, let me tell you, Gabby. Gabby, first of all, I'm very grateful that God answered our prayers on your health. I know that was heavy on your heart, and we prayed on it. Me and my wife. And then Joey Clark is who you need to give the thanks to because he's saw fit to have me on the show.
Well, I saw the same thing you did, sir.
Thank you. But Joey punches above his weight. Joey could be anywhere he wanted to be, but Joey's commitment to his family is what keeps him here. And we're blessed to have Joey because he punches well above his weight.
Well, I'd agree.
Thank you for your accolades. Thanks for listening and thanks for calling. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Y'all have a blessed day.
God bless you.
Got a bunch of calls rolling in here. Line 3, you're on there. Who's this?
Yeah, it's Papa B.
Hey, Papa B. How you doing?
What's up, Pops?
Hey, guys. Listen, some people might see what these 6 or whatever it is, 8, I don't know.
Yeah.
Politicians did as just a dumb political stunt. But I want to tell you the truth. This was not a dumb political stunt.
No, it was not.
This was purposeful.
Yep.
This was intentional. Yep. And it's not about what's happening right now. It's about what is going to happen. Okay? Now, just think about it a minute. Trump has rendered the Democrats blind, dumb, and lame. Okay? Blind in that he's taken away their ability to view and access intelligence. In the Pentagon in particular, they can't just roam the halls getting intelligence. All of those intelligence officers and many of the top Democrats don't have access to the intelligence anymore. He's run them out of there. Okay? Dumb. He has cut out their ability to have access or to have a media access that works. The media is just about as pathetic as they can do right now. They can no longer control the narrative. Lame. He's cut off their funding. Funding in the NGOs, funding in all of the domestic programs, and funding now in the criminal cartels, the organizations. So their options are running low. They are running out of things they can do. So the only things that they can really do is something like a George Floyd uprising, I think. And that's what they're planning on. That is what has worked for them in the past. I don't think it's going to happen until, say, around the election of next year, maybe during the election of next year. But they're planning on riots.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so in that case, Trump has, got the, National Guard ready to go, but he's also going to need some beef from the military. Now, not in weapons, but probably intelligence and stuff like that. I don't know. But Troy, you tell me, does that make sense to you?
Oh, no, it makes complete sense. If you read between the lines, it's not only about that, it's about trying to call him a war criminal at the end of his term and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right. And here's the deal, though. I can tell you. So the Privacy Act of 1974, that Privacy Act for the military banned any monitoring, any intelligence gathering, Joey, any snooping or pooping on people that were citizens of the United States at home or abroad. Because it stemmed from the hippie protests during Vietnam, where we were sending out CID agents and reporting on guys and building dossiers on American citizens. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to, I think, categorize these actions as we're spying, we're interfering, or we're giving illegal orders for them to do things to American citizens. I got news for you. ever since I was in the military and ever since the military's been around, they've always had a domestic mission for potential uprisings or any sort of, let's go to the Whiskey Rebellion. Let's go to all these different things in the past. Okay. Precedent is there. So they're trying to make much ado about nothing, but it's dangerously, this, Joey and I talked about it at the break. This is a different kind of threat. They're willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater and go all in to try to do this at the expense of this
but I
nation.
think they're going to fail.
They'll fail.
That not just that, but this is about taking on and taking out the international organized criminal syndicate.
Yep.
These are the syndicate meaning many come together in one common cause. And the common cause is
destruction of this republic.
Really destruction of this country.
Yeah, with this republic,
Yep. So anyway, good info coming out. We need more of it. Cockroaches run when the light shines on.
Well, we need more citizens like you that are thinking analytically about it, because
wait, Papa B, before you go, Montgomery records 11th pedestrian fatality of the year. Congratulations, Montgomery.
Who would have thunk it? Dadgummit. I'm sorry, but
nobody's walking around on our streets asking for anything or doing anything. Come on. How could that possibly happen?
Appreciate it, Bob.
Bye, buddy.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Got to hit this break first, though. This entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy a home, and it could be your first-time home buyer, potentially.
Right. That was my son and daughter. They were first-time home buyers, and Madeline
and they're great.
They were incredible.
Yes, they will walk with you, especially if you've not done the process before. Every step of the way, the first step, do not skip it, is pre-approval. If you're already on Zillow, like, I like that house, I like this. If you don't have pre-approval, nobody's going to take you seriously. You shouldn't take yourself seriously.
This is true.
You actually want to start the process, call up Alabama Home Mortgage, and they can start with that pre-approval. And then all the way to closing day, they got your back. Often quick turnaround times, and especially with the refinance deals they have there. Could be you are just looking to take money out, go on some big vacation. Could be you want to restructure debt or get down monthly overhead cost. But they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They will help you no matter your goals. So y'all check them out today. Just call them direct at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
All right, the blowout at Marguerite's is on. How do I get you to come in before Black Friday? I get crazy whack-out price on everything in store, including, you want your ring modem? No, not $125. $19. Watch batteries, $8. Bring in your car fob, $8. We'll take care of it for you. Every single item is a crazy price, and we got doorbusters. Plus, on top of that, you can lay away and pick up Christmas Eve. Marguerite's are open every day, and this is through November 30th. It is our blowout with doorbusters.
For more than 50 years, the Tears family's been keeping the river region flowing with Roto-Rooter. From drain cleaning to septic repair and installation, no job's too big or too messy with a local team you can trust. So when water won't go where it's supposed to, call the hometown experts who've been serving Montgomery for over half a century. That's 272-7130. Or visit rotorooteralabama.com. And remember,
call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector.
That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig?
No, but it looks like you do.
And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich?
What's that?
I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man.
You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist?
That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE.
You know, I've heard a lot of good things about David Ernest.
You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience.
Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold.
That's right, man.
And I can see that you don't have very much experience.
What do you mean, man?
Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach.
Yeah, man. Well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich.
Well, maybe you should call David private artist first. You think he's got a shovel? Never know till you ask. I dig, man.
It all comes down to this, folks. Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain. Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast. Speaking of fast, did you just see that play? Yeah, he vaporized that ball. That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Woodward, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Did you know that more Americans listen to radio than use Facebook each week? Did you know that 77% of listeners would try a brand or product endorsed by their favorite radio personality? Contact me, Cheryl Woodward, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Weather changes on the way, but not right away. Today's going to be a great travel day with mostly sunny skies, comfortably warm, high 78. Cloudy tonight. Can't rule out a shower in the overnight hours, low 59. Then for tomorrow, Tuesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Some of the storms strong, possibly severe. Then looking ahead, a big temperature plunge after that. Upper 30s by Thanksgiving morning, highs only in the 50s, low 30s on Thanksgiving night. Get ready for some weather changes from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I love talking about all this geopolitical stuff and seeing the larger, and I don't really understand it. I'm not responsible
You're very well
for
read
this
on
stuff.
it, though. You're
But,
very
you start putting the
conversational.
pieces together and what's the long-term trends and
Right.
stuff. I don't think that's what the average American cares about.
Not
And what
really.
I'm a little worried about is after all these foreign trips and all these foreign deals and
Yep,
all this stuff, they're great headlines and you think he's pulling it off. Well, a new CBS News poll, if you want to believe that. What is that? Kanker Broadcasting?
I was just saying,
Thor, or
yeah,
like-
how about collusional, depend, what is it? Trump, what is it? Syndrome? What kind of syndrome?
Trump derangement syndrome?
We could say it's centralized derangement system or something.
Anyway, it's CBS.
It's garbage. How's that?
But they might be onto something
What is
because this is my instinct. The new polls show that just 36% of U.S. adults approve of Trump's approach to the economy, while 64% disapprove. Moreover, 77% of respondents said the president is not devoting enough time to handling inflation in the economy. 18% said he was spending an adequate amount of time on that issue, and only 5% said he was spending too much time on the issues. 65% of the poll's participants agreed that the president's policies are causing grocery prices to go up, while only 14% said Trump's agenda is causing them to go down. 58% of respondents thought prices have been rising in the last few weeks, while 31% said prices were staying the same, and 11% said they thought they were going down. Well, here's the deal. the inflation is up, and people still associate the high price of whatever it is back when before COVID.
Right.
And to get that down, you got to do a heck of a lot more. But I think this is just an early poll from the noises the Trump administration is making. They understand this is an issue. That's why I give credence to this.
I do.
They very much are worried about it. And we got to have fruit born out of this at least by the summer next year.
Well,
you
remember you read a piece last week, and it was about you showed a piece. It was a video of Trump answering some questions about the price, and he was talking about beef. Beef was the problem, and that lady's like, "No, it's more than beef. Okay, it's across the board." Yeah. So hopefully he's listening, and his advisors are taking that, because let's be honest, Joey. I mean, if you go to the grocery and look at prices in the actual ascendancy of pricing, it's been pretty steep.
It's bad. And JD Vance himself said last week at a Breitbart sit down, we get it and we hear you, and we know there's a lot of work to do. As much progress as we've made, it's going to take a little time for Americans to feel that. Still, the U.S. economy did add 119,000 non-farm payroll jobs in September, way above expectations. And that shows we're kind of in this spot, and the deal's getting done with the tariffs. We'll see what the Supreme Court decides on that. A lot of hope there. But you got to have this for everyday people.
Yep.
For folks who are just struggling to get by. Making all these $1 trillion deals and all this investment it's one thing to have the headlines, but when will folks actually feel it on Main Street?
Yep.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this? Hello, anybody there? No one at all, just called and wanted to not say a thing.
What have you got on, Joey?
Oh, God. You. Why is it always a man?
I got a prank the other day. Not a prank, a scam. And I did that, Robin. It was when we were at the event, Tucker event. I got a call, and I was like, what have you got on? What have you got good to eat over there? I said. And the guy's like,
yeah, it's fun to mess with telemarketers. It's one skill I still have. I'm very good on the phone. I'm good on the phone.
I can see you doing that. Robin does. She acts like a little girl. She's like, my daddy said I'm not supposed to talk to anybody. And he's a mean man. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes.
Let's see if this person's trying back. You're on there. Who's this?
Hi, Joey. It's Pat.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, Pat.
I love listening to you all talk about when you start talking about the military, and I appreciate Troy's expertise. Last week you were talking about medals, and then a guy called in today about the presidential unit citation.
Yes, sir.
And I had a flashback to a medal story when I was stationed in San Antonio back in '85. I had the fortunate pleasure of having a boss who was a Medal of Honor recipient.
Wow.
James Fleming.
Wow.
And I also worked with a guy who was a know-it-all. He had a photographic memory.
Oh.
And Colonel Fleming walked into the chow hall one day, and this captain stood up and says, I feel a tremor in the force. Someone's not wearing their medals in the right order.
Oh, no.
And he had the audacity, this is a captain, walks up to the colonel and said, sir, your Legion of Merit, I don't remember what they were, but he had them in the wrong order. And Colonel Fleming looked at the captain and he says, Captain, I know this one with the 5 little white stars on it goes first, and after that, it don't matter.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's a good one.
And then I went from there. So
that's great.
Enjoying y'all's show.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you for your service, brother.
Thank you, Pat.
Yep.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody
That's right,
out there
man.
listening. Got to hit another break here. First, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting, and their River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and that great team are ready to help you with that roof of yours. It could be you don't need to fix a problem at all. It's just that you need an inspection done.
It's true.
And they can do that for you. And the inspections are always free there. And they'll write up an estimate if they find a problem for free as well. And it's accurate. They show up on time to get the job done well. But here's the beautiful thing. If you get inspections on a regular basis, you're going to find problems early.
Yep.
And you're going to find ones that don't cost, don't break the bank. And it's when you are negligent for 5-10 years, something really bad, expensive to fix happens, that your insurance company turns around and goes, yeah, we're not paying for that. That's your fault.
That's right.
And the beauty at River Region Contracting is they are also insurance specialists. So if they find a problem with your roof that your insurance company might pay for, they can walk you through that claims process and make it a swift and easy experience. Y'all call up River Region Contracting today at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Troy, those fellows on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I bought your Christmas present, and it's custom so you can't return it.
What is it? Where'd you get it?
Delta Printing. I ordered monogrammed wine glasses for my sister, photo ornaments for Grandma's tree. I also got Mom custom table linens and printed your face on golf balls for your brother.
Delta can do all that? I thought they were just business printing and signs.
Nope, Delta Printing and Sign can do it all.
Delta Printing and Sign. Your one stop for Christmas cards, custom gifts, business cards, and more. Visit letdeltadoit.com or call 271-COPY.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. Just powering through as we kick off the Thanksgiving week. What's the score there today, Cohen?
It's like 42-0.
All right.
Yeah, we had a great weekend.
Great.
Had a lot of people come in, buy big TVs, add some Sonos to it. Sonos has got the Black Friday pricing going on. So everybody's getting a deal on some Sonos equipment. Its ranges or varies depending on what model you're choosing, but anything from a single speaker all the way up to a full-blown system, you can save some good money on Sonos. Anyway, but it's been good. Got a couple of 98s that got sold. So people are going for the bigger TVs, which in our world we think it's all sports driven, but I'm sure there's a Christmas movie with Jimmy Stewart that's going to get played on it too.
Here, here. And some of those, by the way, all those classic movies have now been remastered for 4K, and they look remarkable on those big TVs.
That's right.
Really, it's an art that's almost been lost. Folks, you can always learn more at thinkcohens.com. But I really encourage you to stop by 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're normally open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And let's remind folks, though, at the holiday on Friday and Saturday, y'all be opened up. What are going to be the hours on that Friday, Saturday?
On Friday and Saturday, we'll be open 8 to 3.
Very cool. Very cool. And get by there for the Black Friday shop-a-thon or whatever we're calling it. And what
are you going to be doing on Friday? Because you're not calling me. I'm going to feel very lonely.
My plan is to relax. I might be up at the lake because all sorts of family from all over the country is going to be at one lake house. So I might be there on that Friday.
It sounds like more peace and quiet at your house. But
yeah, I agree.
You know what? I'm going to stop in and see Michael. I know I'm not Eddie. I'm not Joey, but I'm Troy. I'm just like, but yeah, I'm at the bottom of the road. But I care about you, and I want to see what you got there because I've got some needs for some things. I know. I'm going to come in there and see you.
We'd love to have you.
All right, man. Look forward to it.
Appreciate you, Michael.
Have a great Thanksgiving. Take care.
Sir. You too, sir.
Let's go to Ashley. Hello, Ashley.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, Ashley.
How are you doing?
And by the way, I haven't had a chance to tell him what you wanted me to tell him. So,
hey, Troy,
Yeah.
John Travolta needs his shirt back, man.
What? Who does?
John Travolta, Saturday Night Live.
Let me tell you something.
or
Listen,
Vigor.
I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. You know what? And I thought Eddie would say something about it. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you, when I wear my blue pinstripe suit and my shirt and tie, girls know I'm fly. Okay, I'm fly. All right.
For a white guy,
pretty fly. Yeah. Thanks, Ashley. Do you have anything meaningful to give us today, or what? Oh boy.
I just wanted to educate everybody and remind everybody, because I've had a few more patients not know what gene site testing is. Yeah. Have y'all heard of this? Troy, I've kind of
you've told me about it. Why don't you lay it on Joey and the listeners? It is pretty interesting.
Okay, so in the state of Alabama, they still pull points from the pharmacies to see who all prescribes what, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, I think gene site testing should be the first thing that should be mandated before, and also abolish this point system for once and for all. Gene site testing is a quick test where they swab both sides of your mouth, of your cheeks, inside your mouth, and use a little bit of your saliva, and they test your DNA to all prescriptions across the board to see what your body actually works with and what it rejects and what can be harmful to you. And do you know, I've been practicing now as a counselor in the state of Alabama since February, and about 300 of my patients, I've had around 300 total of February to now. Do you know about 85% of those had no idea what gene site testing was, and 85% of them were either misdiagnosed or on a prescription that did not work with their body.
I believe that. Wow.
That's why they keep changing it.
What would you say in your humble assessment is when you take your patients and you do that, how often do you find discrepancies?
About 85%.
Man,
to 90%.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
I had one lady that came from a clinic up in DeKalb County. I'll leave it nameless for now. That she came in with over 50 prescriptions. They said that she was paranoid schizophrenic and had dissociative disorder, but she didn't. They had her on so many active medications and antipsychotics, antidepressants, SSIRs, the whole 9 yards, and they were messing her up. And after she got fully detoxed, she is now a functioning woman, was misdiagnosed. She only had ADHD.
Wow.
And she had a thyroid issue. Like, nobody had checked her thyroid in 15 years, and she had an inactive thyroid.
Wow, man.
This is basic stuff, dude. Like, the first thing anybody should say, well, okay, you're having this, and this. Okay, let's check your thyroid. Let's go to a doctor and go get a thyroid, panel done, and make sure everything's working. Make sure you're not diabetic. Make sure you're not having a UTI. One of the things I find, Joey, from the VA, and also like with Robin when she's going through some stuff, and Ashley, you're kind of privy to some of this, but endocrinology. Look at what your body's secreting, what it's not secreting. Do a full panel of tests. A lot of doctors don't do that.
I've been working on that.
I mean, it's a big deal, man.
I've been working on this, on the secretions, checking them.
Yeah. All right.
Well, actually,
and I mean, this is very important information, and
Thank
insurance covers it. So I don't know why it's not being done in Alabama.
Well, you
Welcome
need
to Alabama, Ashley.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. So make sure, if anybody's out there listening, if y'all think and y'all are on medication, I mean, this even goes for people that go through cancer treatment.
Okay.
Awesome. Well,
gene site testing.
For everything.
What's it called? Gene site testing?
That's gene site testing.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Yep.
Well, appreciate it. I got to hit my top of the hour break.
See you,
Thanks,
Well,
Ashley.
y'all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, we're going to be staying alive.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Staying alive.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump has announced that he'll be visiting Beijing in April after a phone call with the Chinese President Xi Jinping. The president said he accepted Xi's invitation and, in turn, invited Xi for a state visit to Washington. Later in the year, the leaders discussed trade, fentanyl, Ukraine, and Taiwan during that call. A federal judge has dismissed a criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey. The ruling came after the court found the prosecutor who brought the charges was unlawfully appointed. The dismissal is without prejudice, meaning the case could technically be refiled. AAA says Thanksgiving travel will break some records this week. More than 81 million Americans expected to head out, with nearly 90% driving. That's 73 million cars on the road. 6 million travelers will elect to fly despite recent flight disruptions. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-226-5454. That's 800-226-5454. 800-226-5454.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Shinbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Shinbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Weather changes on the way, but not right away. Today's going to be a great travel day with mostly sunny skies, comfortably warm, high 78. Cloudy tonight. Can't rule out a shower in the overnight hours, low 59. Then for tomorrow, Tuesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Some of the storms strong, possibly severe. Then looking ahead, a big temperature plunge after that. Upper 30s by Thanksgiving morning, highs only in the 50s, low 30s on Thanksgiving night. Get ready for some weather changes from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
Ready to borrow smarter this season? Apply online in minutes at yourasecu.com. Call 334-270-9011 or visit your local branch today.
ASD Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASD.
Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
1819 News.
Standing in for Andrea Tice, I'm Garrison Hardy. Auburn kept its postseason hopes alive with a dominant 62-17 win over Mercer on Saturday, powered by the debut of freshman quarterback Deuce Knight. Knight put on a historic performance, rushing for 162 yards, throwing for 239, and accounting for 6 of Auburn's 8 touchdowns. He becomes just the 4th Auburn quarterback ever to rush for more than 100 yards in his first start, joining the likes of Cam Newton and Phil Gargis. With the win, Auburn improves to 5-6 and now must beat number 10 Alabama in next Saturday night's Iron Bowl to reach bowl eligibility. I'll be back with more Alabama news after this.
Ryan Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
UAB says a football player stabbed 2 teammates early Saturday morning, just hours before the Blazers game against USF. Interim head coach Alex Mortensen confirmed both victims were in stable condition and several shaken players chose not to participate in the game. The teammate suspected in the stabbing was taken into custody. Jefferson County Jail records show offensive lineman Daniel Mincy was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and attempted murder, though UAB officials have not confirmed his involvement. For 1819 News, I'm Garrison Hardy.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones. Morgan Murphy, candidate for United States Senate, will be joining us. Traffic's got him held up a little bit, and we certainly understand that. Let's go to Don on line one. He's been patient. Hey, Don, how you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I was just taking a nap. No, no. I'm a very frugal person. I have a twofer for you.
Okay.
The first is just a reference to the piggy reference. I'm not sure what is. I just tuned in, so I'm not sure what has been discussed before. But the Donald Trump's piggy reference.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's getting everyone in. If you watch the whole scene that's happening, the person that he said that to just asked a question and was answered, and someone else was asking a question, and the reporter decided that she wanted to ask another question, and which the president used the reference piggy as to
greedy,
wanting to bite off more than they were. Not a size reference, just a you're too greedy reference.
People aren't even insulted for the right reason.
That's right, man. We don't even know. I didn't see how she was. How do you know she's not big?
Well, I actually saw something on another channel on a conservative station that showed who was asking it, and other than being a bad question answer, she was. Never mind. That's not part of the.
So he could have also been like, "Shut up, hippo," and like it's still the same
elephant.
Point. Right.
Oh no! I'll give that to her. She was definitely no hippo. She was just very greedy in her question.
Well, that's a good.
Well, I'm a '90s kid. I was thinking of Hungry.
Yeah,
Hippos.
Hungry. Oh, man, that's a great game. The marbles, eat some marbles or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm a moderate conservative. I don't follow the company line, totally and everything. So when I see something that is different, I'm not afraid to, question.
No, that's to your credit. Very much so.
I was wanting to know your opinion of, the folks that were born, probably 1970 back to the World War II, might remember that back in World War II, Germany and Russia made a pact between each other.
They did.
To when Germany invaded Poland, Poland would be divided, and Russia would, kind of get a buffer zone, which was part of Poland.
Right.
So actually, both countries invaded Poland.
They did.
Not just Germany, but
the Poles. Joey's of Polish descent. The Poles detest the Russians even more than the Germans for what they're doing.
And then also the British government's like, well, we have a war guarantee with Poland. Like that's don't bluff in geopolitics. It's very dumb.
Yeah. Well, do you happen to see any difference between then and now when Russia is wanting to just come in and invade and take, they say take part of Poland, part of Ukraine as a buffer zone between them and NATO. I think that the president is getting kind of tired of nothing happening in the area and him not getting, I helped win this war type thing.
Yeah.
So he seems to me to be saying, okay, we'll give Russia what they want. Let's get this thing over with. Even though it, pretty much, gives away part of Ukraine.
Well, Kent, you're right, and I think also, Joey, I was thinking about this. There's no guarantee that's going to be that's going to stop Putin. So we'll see.
Yeah, and we have all sorts of disagreements and different angles on this, but I've been a critic of this since day one. That it was a policy to the last Ukrainian. The idea was never to actually defeat the Russians, because if you defeat the Russians, you actually put the Russians in a very much climbing the escalatory ladder. So the idea was to weaken Russia using the Ukrainians' patriotism around the nation, and it's has worked to a degree, but the Russians keep on fighting, think they're in the stronger position. My point is they don't have a right to take land, but they had the might to take it. And the might doesn't make right, but if we want it back, we don't need to just be right about it. We need to have the might to do it. And I don't see that right now. At this point, it all depends on this could end up being much bigger than just stopping a war between Ukraine and Russia. It very well could be a complete reset of the whole geostrategic infrastructure of Europe in relation to Russia. And I think they're going for something big and bold, not just stopping the killing.
It seems that if Russia is on the feeling that if they want it, they should have it, and how dare you say that I can't have it. So as long as NATO is that close to their borders and things, they are running scared, and they don't trust Europe. Western Europe.
There's a lot of things you could look at. They've actually increased their borders with NATO with the joining of Finland. And
good luck actually sneaking around the North Sea or the Baltic.
Yeah, really. You ain't gonna find nothing.
Yeah, good luck.
Nobody's looking there. All right, Kim, that was awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Don.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir. 2729228. No, it's fascinating because I'm coming from that idea that you had a guy when 2014 happens. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? That was my reaction.
Well,
yet another color revolution.
Sure.
I'm like, are we still in 1984?
It might as well be.
And so I was like, this is not going to end well for and this also goes back to, I weirdly was given a project as an undergrad to write a paper on Ukraine.
Really?
And my idea, after looking at it, just as a young, dumb, and full of ideas, was they should be neutral. They should be a buffer state between Russia and the rest of Europe. They should leverage the resources that they have, which they have many, along with say technology, their intelligence they have there, which is quite a bit, and should become essentially like the Switzerland of Eastern Europe. And be a gate between East and West. That didn't ever happen. And by the way, my very Eurocentric, love the EU professor hated my idea.
Well,
so I got a little tiny taste of this inside fight years and years before any of this started. So I look at this and go, what a freaking waste of lives.
I can't agree with you more, but you know what? You're right about your proposal. But the problem is the other party has to be playing along to that idea too. Russia had eyes on their industrial heartland, their resources, and it's about building a legacy for Putin that's not going very well.
You let the Russians rent the East, which looks like what this deal is going to be. You let the Russians rent the East, the industrial heartland, and then you let the Europeans work the West.
And the Europeans now are starting to really get kind of fired up. But here's the thing. America is invested in Ukraine by the minerals and all that. So there's going to be some protection guarantees there. Unspoken.
And I would love to see this as a beginning to an actual strategic arms treaty again. Because after that, the cat got out of the bag there, and the new weapons that have been brought online by the United States, by Russia, by China are... Talk about something that should, maybe you don't believe in God and don't fear his will and his wrath. Fear the wrath of the bomb. Especially these ones where it's like, it's not just intercontinental ballistic missiles. You're talking like small
tactical nukes,
hypersonics. Like what was the one that the Poseidon that the Russians have? And of course, we got our own things that could hurt them too. And the idea is like, developing this stuff and continuing to produce more of this stuff is insane. I think a waste of money at the end of the day. If you could actually start a non-proliferation, it would be trilateral. You get the Chinese in on it. You bring also maybe North Korea even in on it. Maybe you got something there. But anyway,
there's one weapon that I think will make you really kind of go, a lot of people don't know about it. It's a neutron bomb. If you know what a neutron bomb is, it's a massive dose of neutrino-based radiation. It does not do any kinetic damage. It just saturates and kills everything, and then you can move
essentially poisons.
Half-life of 36 hours, and you move right in and take over the city, take over all the resources and everything.
So it doesn't like sit there it doesn't ruin the soil and the water and all that stuff. But any biology in the vicinity
will die, and then in 36 hours it'll be clean.
Yeah, and it's just stuff like that where you're like, okay, this is, excuse me, pardon me, folks, for all the glories of war, and there are many. I would never knock the warrior ethos. modern weapons, it's like, you want to bring about hell on earth?
There it is.
Like, we've already seen it with the first and the second. Like, we do that again. God help us. Literally, God help us.
Yes.
But anyway, maybe that's what's in store. Who
That's
knows?
It's a brave new world, man. It's a brave new world.
Who knows? Again, Morgan Murphy, candidate for United States Senate, should be joining us. He's got a little backed up because of traffic, which I certainly understand. But we'll keep talking about, I think, the geopolitical angle, but also what he's been seeing out on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
And before I hit this break, did you see that Doug Jones is officially
I saw that.
going to be a candidate for governor?
Well, we kind of talked about that last week. We heard rumblings, but it looks like he's all going to be all in. Yeah.
And Chairman John Wall, GOP Chairman John Wall, recently put this out, saying the Alabama Republican Party is not worried about Doug Jones entering the governor's race. His record on the U.S. Senate spoke for itself, a consistent pattern of voting for extreme liberal policies that placed him firmly in line with the radical principles of the National Democrat Party and far outside the values of the people of Alabama.
Yeah. Not worried about him.
Yeah. And also, voters already know who he is, but there's one survey showing Tuberville currently has a 19-point lead over Jones, 53-34 in the ballot. Swing voters break for the Republican to a 2-to-1 ratio.
Right.
46% compared to Jones and 21%. Additionally, high propensity voters who voted in 4 of the last 4 elections favored Tuberville 57-36 over Jones. Signal said that, quote, decided voters lean Trump, are conservative and will vote for Tuberville. Voters who are undecided on the gubernatorial ballot lean 43-26% for the generic Republican. These voters find Trump net favorable. They are 56% conservative and only 29% moderate.
That's about right.
So I seriously, Doug, if his people are listening, when you run against a guy that gets essentially described as like creeping on young girls and he doesn't defend himself well, then maybe you win.
Yeah.
But like, unless it's some crazy scandal, I don't.
He don't have.
I don't see any shot. But he can make the arguments, and this is. I'm not against good competition, but I'm just like saying it's like Auburn, Bland, Mercer.
Well, he can hold for maybe 1 quarter, and that's it. So yeah.
Anyway, we got to hit this break. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Are you getting ready to put your home up for sale? Remember the 6 Ps. Prepare your home by deep cleaning, painting where needed, yard work, decluttering the inside. Present your home to the market through the experienced realtor who knows how to market the home and get it sold. Price the home at fair market value of what the home should bring in today's market. Your realtor can guide you in pricing the home to sell, not sit. Pay for part of the closing cost and provide a 1-year warranty. Buyers today don't have the down payment and all the cost of buying a home without some help. Prepare to look at offers from the marketplace and accept the best offer for your needs. And 6, place your trust in experienced professionals, including your realtor, closing attorney, and mortgage company. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883. And remember, we are now hiring agents, both new and experienced. Call me today for an interview. Bo Goodson, 221-2883.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, the blowout at Marguerite's is on. How do I get you to come in before Black Friday? I get crazy whack-out price on everything in the store, including, you want your ring rotom? No, not $125. $19. Watch batteries, $8. Bring in your car fob, $8. We'll take care of it for you. Every single item is a crazy price, and we got doorbusters. Plus, on top of that, you can lay away and pick up Christmas Eve. Marguerite's are open every day, and this is through November 30th. It is our blowout with doorbusters.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Want that ride that is fun, affordable, and street legal? Check out ETG Outdoors in Montgomery. They have huge discounts on electric golf carts with many brand new units under 10 grand. New and used inventory, financing available, and they service what they sell. ETG Outdoors even provides lithium battery conversions and free delivery with purchase. Whether it's for the neighborhood, the farm, or just fun, ETG Outdoors, 7006 Vaughn Road, or online at etgoutdoors.com. Cruise smarter, drive electric. ETG Outdoors, your ride to freedom starts here.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Weather changes on the way, but not right away. Today's going to be a great travel day with mostly sunny skies, comfortably warm, high 78. Cloudy tonight. Can't rule out a shower in the overnight hours, low 59. Then for tomorrow, Tuesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Some of the storms strong, possibly severe. Then looking ahead, a big temperature plunge after that. Upper 30s by Thanksgiving morning, highs only in the 50s, low 30s on Thanksgiving night. Get ready for some weather changes from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, as promised, we have a candidate here in the studio joining us. He's a candidate to be the next United States Senator from the great state of Alabama. Morgan Murphy returns to the show. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, man, it's great to be with you.
Good to see you. And, well, there's so many areas we could jump into. But one thing we were hitting hard, and Troy read an op-ed he's got coming out of 1819 News on this, is these former intelligence officials and service members putting out a political ad saying, don't follow illegal orders. And then their performance on the Sunday shows was very, very weak. But what do you make of them saying that?
Are you trying to blow the top of my head off here at the beginning of the interview?
It's a good way to do a show.
You know, nothing has made me angrier than these 6 idiots talking. Well, first off, it's just insulting to members of our military, right? Is to start off by saying, hey, you guys, we're worried you might follow an illegal order. Every member of the military swears and really offers up their life to protect and defend the Constitution. So it's an incredible insult to our service members. I've served in the Navy for 26 years, and to look at me sideways as they did, I take that personally. I think it's an absolute insult to our service members. They should be thanking our service members. Just think of what our service members have done in the past 10 months since Trump came back in office. Number one, they shut down illegals flooding over the border, our southern border. So they put themselves on the line for that. They put themselves on the line in Washington, D.C. I saw the National Guard moving around Washington, D.C., patrolling our streets in D.C. myself. In fact, right outside my condo in D.C., I live not 6 blocks from the U.S. Senate. I have a condo there when I worked for Tommy Tuberville and the president. And one of my neighbors was robbed at gunpoint at 9:40 a.m. 9:40 a.m. on a Monday morning in July. And so it's not it's a hazardous mission to go patrol D.C. And they're in Memphis. I mean, tell me that's not a hazardous mission. And they have reduced crime by 50%. Where they've been sent. So these Democrats should be thanking our military, not insulting our military.
You know, Mark Kelly is a Navy captain, a former Navy captain, and he knows better, doesn't he? He knows better. He knows. We know what sedition is under the UCMJ. We know what treason and mutiny is. Anything that can undermine that, and the suggestions that he made as a former Navy captain is very concerning. It's a dangerous precedent.
It's mutinous is what it is. And, Kelly then, it's ultimate gaslighting. But that's what Democrats do when they talk about our military. It was Senator Blumenthal. I'll name him by name, Mr. Stolen Valor Blumenthal, who suggested not 2.5 years ago that 10% of the American military might be white supremacists. Wow. Right? That's what he said that in a hearing. You can look it up. Senator Blumenthal just carpet bombed our own military. And, it's a wonder that recruiting during the Biden administration, when Democrats were in charge, just fell off a cliff. Because if you're a young minority and you're looking at maybe joining the military and a senior senator says, oh, they're a bunch of racists, well, maybe I don't want to join. Right. Maybe that's not a good idea. And so they just insult the military like that. And it's no wonder that recruiting fell off a cliff under Biden. And Trump has put it back together. Clearly, recruiting is up, morale is up. We're back to our core mission of breaking things and killing people rather than running a faculty lounge at the 5-sided building.
Well, and it doesn't help that a former CIA officer, now Senator Slotkin, is bringing this up. We have conspiracy-minded stuff enough as it is in this world that it suggests, no, intelligence agencies just don't listen to the president of the United States. This is stuff we saw in the first term, I believe.
They're rogue actors. Sure, and I stopped listening to the CIA years ago.
They're useless.
I got briefings from the CIA, the super secret, spooky,
top secret gamma and HCS and all
that. Best possible intelligence briefing at the United States Senate in the Senate skiff. And they came and they looked at us and they said, Afghanistan's going to be fine for 9 months. And 9 days later, it was gone.
Sure.
And, 6 months later, they came to us and said, Ukraine's going to be gone. Yep. It's going to be gone in 3 days. Well, Kiev's still standing, right? At best, it's 50-50.
So when I was with DIA, Gray Fox, there was an old maxim that rang true. Whenever we would get a good human source, a human intelligence source, Morgan, and the reporting started to become really good, the CIA would swoop down and take our sources and then lose those sources due to the fact that they had not built a relationship with them. And the joke is this: most of those CIA agents and officers are Ivy League, entitled, not former military, and they just really don't understand the ways of the world and the real intelligence.
Well, you can't have an argument with these six folks. I mean, first off, they wrecked the credibility. The 50 senior intelligence officials who came out and said Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation, right? They wrecked the credibility of our intelligence agencies, and they showed carte blanche that the government was being weaponized against Republicans and conservatives. They showed that clearly. Yep. So first, and then they set up these kind of straw man arguments like, oh, don't follow an illegal order. And you ask them, well, what order has Trump issued that is illegal? And on the Sunday shows, these guys just fell all over themselves trying to say, well, Venezuela is illegal. How is attacking drug cartels in international waters illegal? We have been doing that since the foundation of our country. Yes. So Thomas Jefferson in 1801 attacked the Barbary pirates, right? He didn't go to Congress and say, hey, can I attack these guys and kill them? No, he just went in, sent the Navy in there and obliterated them. And that's what presidents have done for 220-some years, 224 years.
And I believe Jefferson, even when Adams is building the frigates, he's criticizing him for building this up. But then in his mind, he's like, I'm probably going to use those things. Yeah. And he very well did use those things. And I think something going on right now on the right and within the Republican Party is a sort of fight over the heart and soul of what it means to be MAGA, America first. And in particular, foreign policy plays a big role in this. I would say I would like more, and I think Trump expresses this, and you would know better than I, but more of a realism, a sense of just looking at the world through practical lens, still having American values, but what can we actually do that strengthens our hand and isn't this sort of Wilsonian, let's say, trip around the world. Where do you see us going, especially with news today of a deal possibly at hand with Russia and Ukraine? Trump also just talking to President Xi. Like, how important is it to get out of the Middle East, maybe get out of Eastern Europe, or not have to let Europe support themselves more, and focus in particular on the Chinese and our own hemisphere?
It's so important to focus on our own hemisphere. And that's what I love. The president, I mean, we don't have a base. The only base we have in our own, Southern hemisphere is Gitmo, is Guantanamo Bay. And that's it. And so we to send an entire carrier strike group off the coast of Venezuela sends a powerful, powerful message. One carrier strike group has more combat firepower than most European nations. So it's 4 sovereign acres of U.S. territory floating there off of Maduro's backyard. He's taken note of that. Yeah. And that is a strong message that it's not just America first, it's the Americas first. This is our backyard. This is our homeland. Instead of worrying about taking care of Europe's backyard and China's backyard, our president's taking care of ours. And I appreciate that about him. But yeah, to your question, what does America first mean? The president is an empiricist. He does what works. Yep. And people often have asked me, a lot of reporters in DC asked me when I was working for him, how, like, I don't understand. He's changed. He was being really mean to Zelensky and said he didn't have the cards and beat him up in the White House. And then he was really nice to Putin. And now he's talking about sending tomahawks against Putin. And like, he's all over the map and they don't understand. I said, the president does what works. It's easier to see in policy, easier to see in personnel than it is in policy. So in personnel, if someone isn't working out, what does Donald J. Trump do? He fires them. It's the same with policy. If a policy is not working out, Donald J. Trump jettisons that policy, fires it, brings in a new one. Well, let's see what does work. And most Washington gets locked in. They don't want to be seen as flip-floppers. But when circumstances change, an intelligent man or woman changes their mind.
Agreed. And one of the things I think that you hit on, and this is important, empiricism works, but it can be counterproductive. America's failed to have a foreign policy coherently and consistently since the Monroe Doctrine. Let's be honest. We support this dictator, whether it's Ferdinand Marcos, and that sends a signal to the world. And you know this because you've been in Afghanistan. I was on provincial reconstruction teams, and I can tell you this: if you're dealing with foreign, let's say, dignitaries or any tribal leaders, whoever it might be, a lot of them will go, how can I trust your word? Because you may not be here in a year or two. And that's a problem we've had to fight. But how do we solve that? And I think you would agree. We get out of nation building and become nation destroyers. And let's stop playing provincial reconstruction everywhere.
Amen, brother. That's on my website, murphyforsenate.com. You can go and you can see my America First position where I lay this out. And that I really am. I am a recovering neocon, you know. So I believed that. I drank that Kool-Aid, and then I went and paid the price for it. I was in Afghanistan and saw that foolishness. We were spending $2 billion a week when I was there, and I watched that stupidity. All the Ford Rangers we sent over there, all the uniforms. We even sent PowerPoint.
Corps of Engineers.
We tried to turn them into little PowerPoint jockeys at the Pentagon, except they were in huts and in Bamiyan province. And it was just ridiculous. And they didn't respect us. No. They didn't respect the plan. And we see where we left $85 billion there.
That's the
wholesale gave it up.
That's the biggest travesty.
One thing when I think about Alabama, though, is like, I really do think this reorientation that the Trump administration is bringing forth is very much needed. And we've been kind of on autopilot, I think, on a lot of our things, much to our detriment. Yes. But it does say your vision, and it's very important, this issue being one of 100 in the United States Senate if you're elected, the defense industrial base. Is Alabama already plays a key part in that? Do you see us maintaining that position, maybe even doubling down on it as we go forward into the future?
We are a powerhouse. We are the shop floor of America's defense industry because Alabama 30 years ago said, we're going to bring back manufacturing. Good. When I was born, the last steel mill in Birmingham, Sloss Furnace, shut down. Birmingham lost 60,000 jobs that never came back. Every small town in Alabama, had a textile mill. You could go to Alatex in Andalusia. You could go to the, Russell Athletic
in Alex City.
You could go to mill after mill, and the Koreans took them all. And our politicians said, "But that's okay. We'll just retrain your workforce. That's okay. We'll put you somewhere else." And I'm going to fight for industry because I believe in free trade, but more importantly, I believe in fair trade. And the two are conflated by Wall Street. Wall Street was really happy doing this. Wall Street made a lot of money doing this. That it was labor arbitrage. They could get cheap Chinese labor to make us our trinkets for cheaper, and they made more money. But they jeopardized the security and safety of the American people when they did that. And it is a core issue to me. If you can't manufacture things, you cannot protect yourself. We are a nation of builders, and we need to get back to building. And that's why young people are disgruntled. They can't buy a house in today's economy. If you're 20 something years old and you're working in a job where you're making $25,000 or $30,000 a year, how are you going to afford a house? The average house in this country costs $420,000. That is ridiculous. You can afford to buy a house, though, if you work at, say, Mercedes-Benz in Vance, and you're making $100,000 putting together an M-Class, or you're working for Airbus or ThyssenKrupp or Hyundai or Honda or Toyota, any one of the number of other manufacturers that have come to this state. So I believe, and I'm going to tell my colleagues in the Senate, that Alabama is a model for the rest of the country. Let's reindustrialize the United States so that we can defend ourselves.
Now, real quick, folks, again, we're talking to Morgan Murphy. He is a candidate for United States Senate. And I feel like I and Troy, we got a little ahead of ourselves because we've gotten to know you, like in past few interviews. But for folks who maybe are just hearing you for the first time out there, can you give them just the 101? Who are you? What's past experience? What are you hoping to do?
Yeah, I'm a 26-year veteran of the United States Navy. I got so ticked off at the way our culture was going back in the teens that I went and worked in the first Trump administration. So I was the press secretary to the Secretary of Defense. And that triggered me so hard. I watched a lot of people betray the president. I watched an election get stolen. I saw it all, had a front row seat for it from the Secretary of Defense's office. That I stayed in D.C. and worked for Tommy Tuberville. I was his national security advisor and worked in the Senate with him. Didn't know anything about politics. Had never served in politics before. Lifelong Alabamian. First time in the swamp. And it was pretty bad. But Coach and I fought it out, loved being with him. Then had the honor of being asked to be in the second Trump administration. So I just left the second Trump administration because I watched this summer, I looked at the field running And I thought to myself, I can't sit this one out, Coach. I cannot let the most conservative and reliable America First voice in the Senate be replaced by a squish. And by that, I mean a rhino. You know, I can't do it. I don't want to go into politics. I don't want to run. I don't want to subject myself and my family and my loved ones to the scrutiny, but I feel called to do it in the deepest sense to run. So I declared my candidacy October 1, here to run in the Senate, and have jumped in the race.
Your son asked you if you're going to make more money doing this, didn't he?
So Wells said, my little boy, who was 10 at the time, said, "Hey, Dad, is it going to be more money?" I was like, "No,
more work."
No. He said, "Is it going to be more time off?" I was like,
"No,
no." He said, "Are people going to say mean things about you?" I was like, "Oh, yes." And he said, "So why are we doing this again?"
Because I love you.
That's what I said.
Because I love you.
I said to him, and my nephew, who's the same exact age, told his mom, my sister, said, I don't want Uncle Morgan to run because I don't want him to get shot.
Yeah, that's very
And this
real.
right after Charlie Kirk, right? And
It's very real.
I looked at both of them and I said, you know, you'll understand when you're older, but there just have to be people in society who are willing to, to get shot, who are willing to stick their neck out to defend what we hold dear. And when we run out of people who are willing to do that, we're going to be governed by idiots, and we're going to be ransacked by barbarians at the gate. They're here at the gate, folks.
They're inside the wire.
They're inside the wire. I mean, you don't have to look past Dearborn, Michigan. You look at New York City, and a communist has taken over. It is terrifying what's happening to our culture in my lifetime. How far it slipped.
Now, polls have their role. And especially the best polls are not shared usually with the public unless they're like really good. And like, let's throw them out there. That said, there's a different sense of when you're traveling up and down the state, and we do need to widen 65. Let's make that clear. Ainsworth.
That's all my plan, man. That's all my plan.
But I'd imagine as you travel up the state, I mean, you get folks coming up to you saying, this is my concern, this is that concern. Is there a common theme that you're hearing from folks as you're out there campaigning?
Oh, definitely. I mean, people are concerned about the economy, and there are forgotten parts of our state. There are parts of our state that don't have giant. I mean, my hometown of Birmingham was once the economic engine of Alabama, and it has been surpassed by Huntsville. And that is a tragedy, not just for Jefferson County, but all of the surrounding counties, Walker County, Winston. There are lots of counties that depend on Birmingham, and it needs to be reindustrialized. Montgomery does. I mean, there are factories that could come here and are eager to come here. Our state is terrific at recruiting talent and has been for 30 years. We learned that on Mercedes-Benz, and I want to supercharge that in the U.S. Senate and encourage businesses from around the world to come locate here.
And so the economy is, and this is what I assume too, that especially as we head into 26, as the Republican Party in general, we need some fruit to be borne out of all this investment, which are great headlines and great deals. But the people on Main Street need to start to feel it, I think, by next year, at least, if not tomorrow, coming out of the holiday.
Yeah, no, Trump is undoing so much damage. Biden pumped $7 trillion into the economy that didn't mean to be there in 2022. And we saw inflation go sky high, 9% a year. Goods are 21% more expensive than they were when Trump left office. Gasoline, fuel, housing, everything, the price of eggs, all went up. Trump has done, and his team, Scott Bessent, is
outstanding.
He's a genius.
He's outstanding.
He is a genius. And I love, that tariffs have brought down our deficit. We ran a surplus. We ran a surplus in September, and had the Democrats not tanked the economy for the past 2 months by shutting down the government for 43 days, we were on track to have 3.8% GDP growth.
That's incredible.
3.8%. We haven't seen those kind of figures since the 80s. That's incredible. And that's good economic stewardship. But if you want to just frustrate yourself to no end, listen to politicians talking about the economy.
Oh, yeah.
It it's mind numbing.
Well, I got another one that frustrates me to no end because I think you can go all the way back to Dick Shelby saying this over and over again. The deficit and the debt is too high, and yet here we are. Where are you on that? What would be kind of your general approach as you meet with colleagues up there if you're elected to the Senate?
Oh, I'd love to cut government to the bone, right? Through the bone. I mean, just make it an amputee. I mean, we have just stupid government, just stupid amounts of government spending, and I think the most popular thing that Trump did was Doge. If you look back at his opinion polls, they were never higher than when he was working with Elon to cut government waste. And that's a winner. And I want us to get back to that. I was really happy to see Elon back in the White House this week. I'm like, I'm steeple fingers.
Sadly,
I'm hoping that the Doge will make a
Sadly, Joey and I were talking about this. I want to see Doge have some teeth and do some more, but I'm not sure if we're going to get that, unfortunately. But you're right. It is.
Well, I mean, Republicans need to learn to start winning. And
Amen.
It's like, golly, just look at what Argentina did.
It's amazing.
And
it's amazing.
Man, that wins elections. If you do what you say you're going to do.
Now, this is another one, and it might not be popular with folks currently in the Senate, but Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, just wrote an op-ed, I believe, saying bust up the filibuster, get rid of it. I believe Coach Tuberville is very much in favor of that. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, we need to nuke it. We need to nuke the filibuster, but it's not going to happen politically because there are too many squishes in the Republican Party. They're like, well, we're not going to do it as the institution of the Senate. And so an interim step that I've proposed is what we have now this is way in the Washington weeds, but right now in the 70s, along with bell bottoms and disco, we had another bad idea, which was something called the silent filibuster. So senators don't, and this is so typical of politicians, they don't even have to go down to the floor to talk anymore. And since the 70s, since Carter, they have not had to go down to the floor and actually filibuster something. They can just mail it in. Check out, I'm filibustering that. And they don't have to go down there. They can doom scroll Instagram or smoke cigars or whatever it is they do in their offices. I think if we got rid of the silent filibuster, I think one, there would be the support to do that on the Republican side. And two, I don't think the geezers that are the Democrat Party right now could have filibustered 24 hours a day for 43 days straight. No possible way. And if they had, we would have seen what fools they were. The problem with the filibuster and this whole government shutdown is that people didn't understand who was the cause.
That's right.
Most Americans were like, well, the Republicans are in charge. What's their problem? Right? Because there was no one on the floor having to filibuster. There wasn't a face to that. And I think that killing the silent filibuster first and hopefully gathering enough steam to nuke the whole filibuster would straighten that out.
I love that idea. No, I seriously love that idea.
It's wonky. It's a wonky thing about the Senate, but having worked in the Senate, I know the rules. The Senate is not a place for beginners. Yeah. It's complicated. It's archaic. The personalities are complex. And, all these people talk about, well, I'm going to go up to Washington and I'm going to, fight the swamp and I'm going to clean it up. No, you're not.
Everybody has.
Washington, D.C. is the richest and most powerful capital in the history of planet Earth. In the history of humanity, there has never been a capital with more money and power than Washington, D.C. And do you really think that politics there is small ball?
No.
It will eat a beginner alive. It will eat it alive.
It eats its young, doesn't it?
It does. And the problem with Republicans, and I love us, but we say, we hate Washington, we hate politics, and we hate people that are there doing it. The Democrats keep people up there forever. They leave office and then they go into a think tank and they go into a lobbying or whatever. But you know what happens is they know how to work it really well.
They do.
And Republicans just send a bright-eyed patch of, Mr. Smiths every 2 years, and they get run over by the giant lawnmower that is the Democrat machine up there. We have to send people who know what they're doing.
And you know what? And the veteran nation concept that I've been working on, and you're a little bit privy to it, it starts with our veterans becoming involved again, doesn't it? We need to get our veterans involved in service and in office. There's a lot of good folks out there that should be, we've got skin in the game, so to speak.
Yeah. If veterans, there are 300,000 veterans in this state.
400,000, I believe.
Is it 400?
That's what Admiral Davis says. So yeah, that's a lot.
There are a lot of veterans
That's a
in
lot.
this state, and if they voted as a block,
yeah,
they would be unstoppable. If they voted as a block, there wouldn't be a runoff. And they picked me.
Yeah.
And I hope you pick me. But if they pick me, there wouldn't be a runoff. There wouldn't be an election. There wouldn't be. It would be a cakewalk if veterans spoke up.
So the Federal Elections Commission says, Joey, for every veteran vote, there's 1.75 votes that accompany that vote of like vote, meaning family members. Right. Think about that. Think about how big of a block that could be.
Huge.
Yeah.
Just got to realize we are a group and we have a lot in common, and let's get out there and change things. Now we have this thing I think called the Iron Bowl coming up. Who are you rooting for?
Oh yeah. Are you trying?
They're going to be there.
I'm going. I am going.
Toughest question of the
It's going to be really great. I am a lifelong Bama fan. And my dad made all Bear Bryant's commercials.
Oh, wow.
Growing up.
That's
Yeah.
very
And
cool.
I actually taught journalism ethics at I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but I taught that at the University of Alabama for 8 years. I'd fail most, not you, Joey. I'd fail most journalists out there.
Well, and to that I say War Eagle, and looking forward to the game. It's, to me, the stars seem to align just objectively for an upset this year. Anyway, because we've been miserable and whatever. But before I let you go, if folks are liking what they're hearing you for the first time and want to help out, learn more, or help out the campaign.
Oh man, that'd be great. If you go to murphyforsenate.com, I'd appreciate, if I've said anything that resonates with you today, I need your help. Because unfortunately, so much of politics is money driven. And if you've got spare change enough to buy a Starbucks, I'd ask you maybe throw that. Yeah, just skip your latte for the day. Throw me that $7.50. It would go a long way towards getting these issues brought forward.
Well, great seeing you again. And y'all are always welcome here on the show.
I'll see you guys tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, at the fundraiser.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Businesses have trusted our family at Delta for their printing needs since 1979. Today, Delta does business printing and so much more. We print invitations, Christmas cards, Canva, and Etsy files in as little as 24 hours. We can also print and address the envelopes, saving you time and money. Come see us at 5757A Atlanta Highway or call 271-COPY or shop at letdeltadoit.com. When you need printing, copying, gifts, signs, or more, let Delta do it.
This is Frank Bertorelli with Zap Pest Control. We're here today to thank Blue Water Broadcasting. We're now over 31 years in business. If you don't believe in radio advertisement, give these guys a chance. You won't be disappointed. Zap Pest Control is still on the move today, thanks to the friendships we've made with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. It was good seeing Morgan Murphy there.
He's looking dapper. He's doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. And always enjoy talking to that gentleman. And I think he's got a pretty good shot.
He's
in a crowded field, though.
It's very crowded. We were talking about that. He was at the 1819 event, and he said, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with all these candidates. But I said, all you got to do is make the primary, then you're in good business. And that's really what
ever played Mario Kart? It's kind of a bumper cars at the beginning of that thing. And I think as we head into 26, it's going to be quite something. Let's go to Ray Bowles with Private Carpet. How you doing, Ray?
I am great. It's
Thanksgiving week, the best week of all. Don't you just love Thanksgiving?
Oh, man,
I do, actually.
I mean, it's the one time a year that you can just overeat and give thanks the whole time you're doing it.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and I do think that God expects us to give thanks, but one of the sins is gluttony, and leave it to us to do both on the same day.
Well, we're sinners. We're sinners.
Well, and also, like,
I'm going to ask for forgiveness.
no, I have to say real quick, in my biblical studies, I'm reading through Ephesians on Saturday. And at one point it says, no silly talk or obscenity. I'm like, oh, come on. I was genuinely upset.
That's all I do.
I was, come on, Paul.
Made you feel bad about yourself, didn't it?
So gluttony and silly talk, and here comes Thanksgiving.
That's great.
And here comes Thanksgiving, and I was thinking that. Well, I reckon I'll just have to pray and ask for forgiveness for overeating because I'm flat going to do it on that Thursday. We got 30 people coming over and 2 turkeys to fry.
That's great.
But if y'all are looking for a floor, we can get it right after Thanksgiving. I am completely slammed until Thanksgiving, and I really appreciate that. It's going to be a miracle to get all this work done before Thanksgiving. But afterwards, we're wide open. Christmas trees are fixing to come up, and we will move everything but a Christmas tree. So if you need a floor, call us, 285-8117. Let's get it done before those trees go up.
Again, that number is 285-8117. When you call up Prattville Carpet at 285-8117, be sure to say Happy Thanksgiving. And Ray Bowles is on the radio with that Joey Clark fellow.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.
All right, have a good one. Happy
Appreciate you,
Thanksgiving.
Ray. So did we learn anything
Yeah,
today?
you failed to mention that Trump has a new shirt on.
He has a new shirt on. Oh, yeah. What is that? It's like a takeoff on the Major League Baseball,
But it says Major League Infidel. It's got an M4 on it. It's the guy.
like I told you off air, we have a very different aesthetic.
We do, but that's
No,
fun.
it works,
That's
though.
fun. That's fun.
It works. It certainly works.
It does. The Odd Couple.
So, we talked some shop about geopolitics.
We did.
We talked about how lovely Pamela's been looking.
Pamela's always radiant when she comes in. She's a bright, shiny
It's
light.
always a treat at about 2:50 something in the day. During the
It was a compliment. See, you can't get
See, but anything I say is always like, what is
Everybody
he? What's this effer up to? Excuse me, pardon me for using harsh letters. Anyway, did we ever get into? Oh no, we didn't.
What's that?
I might have to save it for the details tomorrow.
Okay.
But women with just
yeah.
1.36% dehydration experience substantial mood deterioration. Anger and hostility go up 8%. Fatigue goes way up. Vigor goes down 12%. Mood disturbance goes up 19%. Task difficulty perception down 58%. Concentration going down.
Pamela, here's some water.
And headaches are like 2x. So stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. Even though this was a study in a peer-reviewed journal, the next time your lady's mad, do not suggest you're just
What an
dehydrated.
exacting
honey.
amount, 1.63% or something. like that.
Actually,
It's
I
like,
looked
my
into
goodness,
this
it's like,
and I cracked it open. It's only like 26 women. So
wow.
it's not
Its
exactly a big
statistical
sample.
significance is low. Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
But it's fun at the dinner table.
That's funny. And also, just across the news, there was an interview with one of the chief case officers for CIA saying that he knew that Slocum or Slocum, whatever her name is, knew what she was doing.
Oh, Slocum.
Yeah. He came out and said, "Oh no, she knows.
Oh, she knows exactly what she was doing.
She's shaping it." Yeah.
Anyway, y'all stay tuned. Happy hour with Greg and Pamela and the whole fun crew that stops by. They're next. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Coosa.